Getting their ass out of
Yo.
Locked your motherfucking ass. I don't know, nigga, what they
Yo.
like.
Man, no prisons like that. Yeah, like somebody, if you owe a debt, you owe some money.
Hey, yo, can
You
y'all
might
hear
have to
me?
work it all. We can hear you now.
God
Hold on, let me see.
damn.
I
Yeah,
can hear
what you
you, but
doing,
not on
man?
YouTube.
no sound on the other end, man.
There's no
Not
sound
on
on
YouTube.
YouTube. Can y'all hear Shat?
Yeah, it sound on there. It was just a delay. Yeah, it
Oh,
sound.
okay. No,
Oh.
first that shit sounded like an echo. I had to mute that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that shit too.
Okay, yeah, it's coming in now. All right.
Alright,
Yeah, we can hear it now.
All right,
We-
man, I had to. You know how that shit be, Kofi.
Yeah.
Everything was working good this morning. And
Yep.
now everything went haywire. All right.
That's what happened with me when we try to do it from the ECAM way, man. Shit just messing up.
Mm.
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 All right.
So go ahead, start it off, Chef. Start it off, Chef.
No, you started. You got to do the whole spill, power, all that. You do your thing.
I'm chomping at the bits, man, for this conversation, man. But look, Black African power was good, was happening. A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man, y'all know what it is, man. We got Mossy Clan Warriors, Kofi Pasai, research team, the pseudo killers, man. And we doing what we got to do, because we're going to do what we got to do. We standing tall. We standing strong. Man, the family's on deck. What's up, Kofi? What it do? What it do? What it do?
Peace, and Black African power, man. I appreciate y'all welcoming me on the on the panel, man. I'm just ready to get it in, man. Peace to everybody in the chat, man. Please like and share the show, man. If you ain't subscribed to the pseudo killers, man, please subscribe to the pseudo killers, man. But I'm ready to get it in, man.
Yeah, real quick, man. Hey, Chavez, what's good with you, man? What it do? What it do? What it do? Kofi Pasai research team official. What's good, bro?
What's happening, man? I'm just say peace to the chat and ready for this conversation too. Ready to see what we got here.
Huh. Yeah, that's right, man. Hey, Sue Tech, you know what it is, man? Kofi Pasai research team, man. Official, yo. What's good with you? What's good? What it do? What it do? What it do?
What up, man? What up? What up? Peace, everybody. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Just chilling with my brothers on the pseudo killers today, man. You see the name? I'm repping for all the slave traders. Might have to team up with Chef. No, I'm just playing.
Oh man, got tippy. That's a good name though, right? Hey, Sosa, King Sosa, man. Official pseudo killer, man. Official, man. What's good with you, man? What it do? What it do? What it do?
Hey man, peace to the panel, peace to the chat, man. Thank everybody for coming out, man. It always feel good to have the Mossy Warrior clan with us, man. I feel like those TV specials when the show come on back to back, and then the other show be like a guest star on the same show. Like feel special, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's get it cracking, man.
Hey, y'all know what it is, man. Chef and L, man. What's good with you, man? What's up? What it do? What it do? What it do? Pseudo killer official. What's good, man?
Ain't nothing. Just had a good build over there on Kofi Pasai research team, man. Kofi tried to put together something enlighten everybody on the Christian and Muslim contribution to I guess I'll say our forward progress here in America. That would have been probably a better name for it, but you know, it spilled over into Africa and you know, savage and slavery and you know, so I'm here for the conversation. What's going on?
Yeah, man, we want to get this thing started, man. So let's, you know, we like to talk about slavery, but you would always have to define what slavery is. And just hearing that word, you think, well, okay, you think about the Christians enslaving the Africans. And you do a little more research and you think about the Muslims enslaving the Africans, right? But then you did a little more research and then you understand that the Romans enslaved people and then the Greeks enslaved people. And then you try to go a little step too far and you start to talk about Egypt enslaving people. The point I want to make tonight is that slavery requires a slave economy. That's vital to understand that, meaning your income, your social structure depends on monies brought in by bringing in humans and working the shit out of them for free, by enslaving their progeny. This is the slave economy. You do not find a slave economy in Africa. And I ask people, yo, go find that slave economy. They're gonna talk around it. They're gonna do all of that. But they will not find African nations, watch this, with a slave economy by themselves. No Muslims, no Greeks, no Romans, no none of that. An actual functioning, meaning our whole economy depends on trafficking human beings. And I like to quotify this with at first.
At first?
Right? So at first.
Oh my God.
That's important. Because if we don't bring that in there, right? If we don't put it in context, we'll be no better than the Christians. Because the Christians say, well, you know them Africans enslaved themselves too, you know. Right? As if we was all get along gang. As if we was coming from the same nations. Or as if we was actually enslaving our brothers. We had prisoners of war.
So you just
right?
over the
we
whole
had what you would
argument.
call servitude. Let me just make my point. We had servitude, right? There is no African monarchs in Europe when they was planning the transcontinental slave trade. There is no African monarchs, right, in Arabia when they was planning the Arabian slave trade. And that's just my open statement to get the people started. So let's get the other side in here real quick. Sosa or Chef, y'all can go ahead because I got my backup tonight.
I think you loaded the whole argument, and you constantly do that. Yo, if we're wrong, just let us be wrong and then knock our heads off. But you built up a barrier where you want it to be this way. So you basically saying, all right, a slave economy. And then you say, okay, a slave economy without Europeans. And then, so you want every parameter to fit what you're saying. So just tell us what it is that you're saying, because you don't want to have a conversation.
Nah, that you trying to figure nigga out. That's your statement.
You don't want to have a, listen to what you just said, huh?
I do. We got a slave economy in Europe without nobody else. We got a slave economy amongst the Arabs without no Africans helping them out.
Helping them?
So we got a slave economy in Greece without nobody helping them out.
So
without nobody being there and forcing their hand and doing all that. That's something they do.
So I'm looking for the same thing. Were there African nations that had slave economies? Yes or no,
Yep.
Okay.
Sure was.
Okay. Now you ain't got to say nothing.
After.
Go ahead, Sosa.
Yes, we do.
Go ahead, Sosa.
Go ahead, Sosa. No. Sosa don't go. Kofi go next because y'all the other side. Y'all don't get Somebody next. I need somebody on this side. No, so you chef just went. We need somebody else. We had Kofi.
All right.
Kofi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Well, I'm in agreement of what you saying. Like I'm saying, even when we get to, like, I don't know where we gonna start off at. I think we said we was gonna start off with Kemet and then work our way further. But I'm agreeing with what you just said. Slavery existing, or those slavery's institution existing way before or prior before Africans contributed to it. But we got to still put that in context. But what I'm saying, I agree with you far as when you talking about servitude and its documentation. If you go back and you look in the Congo, right? We know the Portuguese came in the 15th century to Central Africa, right? Even if you look at even the same instance that happened in the Congo, the same thing happened if we want to talk about Kemet, and there's documentation of that too when we talking about we're mixing up prisoners of war, servitude for slavery. Those are two separate things that people be getting confused. So if we go back, like I said, in the Congo, and you can see the king that was actually writing to one of the Portuguese, because the things that they was doing, when we understand, like, we don't sensationalize anything. If we all fight with our mothers, we fight with our fathers, we fight with our brothers, our sisters, we fight with our cousins, etc. Right? So these people, we fought with each other, so we fought with each other. And when at times when another ethnic group fights against another ethnic group, two kinsmen fighting against each other, and one defeats another, they will get prisoners of war. And once they get these, they didn't enslave them, because when we talk about what we're talking about slavery now, we're talking about an institution where people are actually kidnapping bodies and utilizing those bodies to generate wealth and for free labor. Now, when you look at Central Africa, we talk about, and we can talk about Egypt too, because I can tell you some of the same incidents. Now, these people became prisoners of war. So in the Congo, a lot of the individuals that they fought against their kinsmen, these individuals became prisoners of war. These guys was not locked up on a plantation. These guys or women was not whipped on a daily. These guys was not stripped of their native tongue. These guys were actually, they worked, they stayed, they was able to roam free. They was able to marry. They was able to marry inside of the confines of that community, and they was able to be free after they worked out a Pacific debt. So it's a difference between servitude, and we got records to show that after they started with these prisoners of war, they started making agreements because it began to be barter and trade. They started trading against the people in the Congo, the Portuguese. They will give them such and such. Portuguese will give them this. So it started off with them bartering against each other, and then this is just one instance. We can give another instance in West Africa as well. West Africa as well, bartering with each other. And then the European, now they don't want to trade for sugar or rubber, or whatever they was that they was exchanging goods for. They won't exchange for the bodies. So you will see an instance in certain groups where, okay, they will give the Europeans the prisoners of war because they thought they was going to be treated the same. They was able to roam free within the society. They was able to marry in the society. And once they worked off of that, they was either free to go home or they was free to still integrate within that society. So, and that is a totally different look than what we talking about when we talk about slavery. There's records of the king actually talking after he gave the prisoners of war until the Portuguese, and the Portuguese started utilizing an institution for what we are calling slavery today, for free labor and etc. And once the king found out about it. But I'm saying this is just one instance. I can give you another instance in West Africa. I can give you an instance in Central Africa where they come in friendly, begin to barter and trade with each other, and then after that, they want bodies. They want bodies for free labor. And the prisoners of war was not treated the same as the Europeans for free labor, whipping, stripping of the tongue, kidnapping bodies, and etc. All of that stuff came later on, but we can talk about that and put that in context. But in the beginning, when we look at a lot of these different ethnic groups, has nothing to do with them enslaving other groups of people or going just to enslave other people and kidnapping them and bringing them back and using them for free labor to generate generational wealth for producing free labor and etc.
Chef, where you at? Go ahead, Chef.
Right here. Okay.
No, it's Sosa. Sosa gotta go, right?
All right,
went, yeah, right?
Oh, go ahead.
9 went. All right. Because, like, you know, y'all saying a lot, y'all covering a whole, a pretty wide spectrum, right? So I can say that in America, slaves, even though they weren't slaves, some were eventually set free. Some were allowed to marry within that little slave camp. We got, right, the masters also free slaves, right? So in America, at the same time as the slave trade and all these hard things are going on, there's actually an actual free population of African Americans at the same time. So that dynamic existed even in America, right? Even in Rome had slavery, but you see the same type of concept. They might have a slavery, but they had freedmen where you can actually work your way up to freedom status and actually become a Roman citizen. So that dynamic existed. So, and even to go at even with the Portuguese king that Kofi speaks about, right? He talks about the Portuguese taking, because they called them taking slaves, right? Because they had got slaves from a different group. And what he's writing back, what he's saying is that, yo, you're supposed to be getting slaves from me. And I caught your men getting slaves from someplace else. And I'm paraphrasing. And basically I asked them where they get these slaves from. And they wouldn't give up their source. And he said, yo, you supposed to be doing business with me, but yet you're doing business with some of my vessels, and you're giving them weapons, and now they have visions of being the king. That's basically what he's complaining about. Right. So then my next thing, and I'll not even go that long because I want to really get into it.
That wasn't at first though. That wasn't. I agree with what you're saying, but that wasn't at first. That you talking about later when the Portuguese started coming in and they started cunning. Hey, we'll give you all of this wealth in return for this. They started going after the people, the have-nots. And they started giving them guns and all, etc. And in exchange for all these goods of making you rich, all we need from you, we'll give you all of this if you go and kidnap these bodies and bring these bodies to us. So that's when you start to see, when they started, Portuguese, a lot of them started landing on the land in Central Africa, and they began to start, not even exchanging, started bribing the people and telling the people, hey, we'll give you this, that, we'll give you this, that, and the third. If you
skip the line, Kofi.
No, I know.
Skip the line.
It's all
you
good.
jumped out there.
He fired up.
You ain't never finished. You fired up.
Pull
back guns.
Go ahead.
Pull the guns back. Pull guns back. We got them.
We'll
we got them. Don't worry about it. We got them.
We'll double back to that. But I'm talking about, because you brought the letters. So I'm talking about the letter was written by I think it's his son. I don't know, King Alphonso II, but we'll get back to that. But the other dynamic is this. Why did the Portuguese choose Africa for slaves? There's a reason that they chose Africa. I mean, they could have went other places.
Give us a reason.
A reason that they chose Africa, and that's because there was a slavery practice already in existence. So all they had to do was come in and barter to get slaves. That's all it was. Okay. So if you're saying that, and if you're saying that they traded them thinking that they would be treated the same, then you would have to provide evidence that that's what they thought. We can't just put that on. We got to say that We got to show that across the board that's why they did that, right? Because we're not even going to, we'll just stay right there before we get into the brutality of how they treated some of the slaves from the interior and the harshness they had to endure getting to the coastline. Well, go ahead. I'll let somebody else go.
CHATTEL. Oh, yeah, CHATTEL.
Y'all keep going, man. I'm just kind of getting a feel for the conversation and what y'all actually talking about.
Man, I'm saying them niggas ain't had no slaves like that until them Europeans and Arabs came. That's what I'm saying. Simple. Like they wasn't doing that. It wasn't the land of slavery. But go ahead, CHATTEL. Where you coming from?
I will say this though. Those European Christians picked Africa because they was coming there anyway to get around the Moors and to see about Prester John. And they noticed a system that was already in place, but it wasn't with them Africans. It was with them Muslims. It was with them Arab Muslims and them Berber Muslims that they call Moors. That's where they seen that, okay, it's a system already set up. Let us get in on this. But y'all keep going.
Great point. Yeah, that wasn't long. Yeah, that was good. Let Chavez get in because that was quick.
Yeah, I'll be quick too because I'm just hearing slavery interchanged with prisoner of war, like real, like it's a quick sleight of hand, like it was a slave. Now it was the prisoner of war system going, like they had that. I don't know about not to my knowledge. Like I'm saying, you might could teach me something today because I'm aware of prisoners of war and that type of stuff going on, but I'm not too privy of actual like slaves. Like so that's all I have to contribute to that.
All right, go ahead, Chef. I know you've been waiting to get it off, yo. I'm gonna mute out.
All right. Now I hear all y'all, right? And it sound good. But the truth of the matter is we can go directly to African nations, right? And we can see what they was doing prior to the slave trade or the transatlantic slave trade. We can go right to a Central African nation or empire. Canaan Borno from 700 to 1300 was known as a slave economy, meaning they sold slaves from Central and West Africa to North Africans.
Were they Islamic?
Huh?
Were they Islamic?
Say it again.
Yeah, they was Islamic.
Let them finish.
Okay.
Hold on. Say it again. Wait. Say.
Huh?
Whoa. Say it again, Chef. Go ahead. Say it again. What happened?
Canaan Borno.
Canaan Borno. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
That's a Central African empire, right?
Okay.
They came from Cameroon, right? And then their empire spread across I think Niger, parts of Algeria, from Cameroon all the way up into southern Libya, right? That's how big their empire was. And they were slave. They one of their main exports was African slaves into North Africa. Now this was before the European, and it was before they was known as a Islamic State, right? They were still selling, black people. Now they converted to Islam later on in their history, but even from the 700s, they were known as for selling slaves. So,
was it Islam? But was Islam present during that time in there, even though they didn't recognize themselves as an Islamic state? But was the Islamic presence there though?
In North Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, their trading partner was the North Africans, yeah. They sold slaves. They sold their slaves to North Africa, to the markets in North Africa. So,
So I'm asking that for a question. So there was presence, their Islamic presence with that before they established themselves as an Islamic nation.
Yeah,
so
they knew about Islam.
I'm just asking the question. So what were they doing that prior to the presence of Islam? We talking because there were Islam presence there, and later on they did become an Islamic state or nation. So I'm asking, prior to Islamic presence, were they actually practicing what you're saying they're practicing as a form of enslaving?
Well, all right, I can answer that. Okay. Now, we don't know for sure, right? Because they don't, the history only goes to that empire. It only goes back to the 700s, right? But we know North Africa always dealt in black slaves, right? So it was somebody brokering those slaves, and it had to be African nations. We just pick up on it during the Islamic period, right? Because that's when the writing and stuff, came to that part of Africa. So that's when we pick up on it. But it would be crazy to think that they wasn't practicing it, because there were already slave markets and slavery in North Africa. And everything didn't come from just slave raids. Like, we got to stop romanticizing Africa the way we doing it, right?
Okay. I'm going to ask you something.
Fix your mic, Chef.
My mic breaking up?
No, it ain't breaking up. It's just like it's almost echoing.
Like you lying or something.
Like you.
Put that voodoo on you, boy. Voodoo, nigga.
But what I'm saying is, what was? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Kofi, don't forget you heard him, right? He say we don't know.
Right.
So he don't know. Then why is he on there acting like he know? Right. That's my point.
Right. Me too. And two, he's saying with that time period. So I'm asking, were the Arabs in there? What was? It was another time period. Give me a time period. Was the Arabs? So I'm asking the question: was the Arabs there? Was it 320? I could be mistaken. Was the Arabs there?
No.
They went in what? 320? No.
Yeah, you can't go. You gotta go. It start at 600.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So it started the 600s. So
Arab, the whole Islam Arab.
So Sheffrin, what was that the time period for the kingdom that you was talking about, that there were influence of Arabs, because there were influence of Arabs or Islamic presence at that. So what time period that was? So they had to be around the same time that we talking about when y'all saying around what, the 6th, 7th century, right?
Yeah, 700. From 700 to 1300.
Okay. So I'll ask again, prior to that, not why you assuming, can you show us that prior to the Islamic presence that it was a slave market where these people in North Africa was actually enslaving people and selling them?
You said
it's kind of not.
They was the ones that was they was the ones that was writing those. So if it wasn't no writing in West Africa before the Arabs got there, so we only gonna get the writing when they come on the scene. So it's like anything before that is damn near mute in the written record. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we're also accepting their perspective also, because this is, coming from those, you said it's coming from Arab authors, right? Arab sources.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much, we're going to be dealing with their perception of things. And they may project that it was something going on, or they may mix what they've been doing with something that's something completely different. So that does happen a lot when you're dealing with Arab sources too. So that's what you kept in mind.
How would you be able to step outside of the primary though? That's the time. If they're the one writing, who you gonna use?
Right. So who would we believe? We believe that the Arabs and the Christians completely
Fabricate.
No, not fabricated. They completely corrupted the African. He didn't have no enterprise or mind before the European or the Arab got there, right? That's basically what we saying. They the ones who introduced
that's a
slavery
You saying that?
to the
That's something
African.
you saying.
He didn't know.
You
No,
saying
that's
that?
what y'all. That like
We ain't saying that.
if every other people
Go ahead.
practice slavery,
No.
why do we
We're
act
on
like
the
the
basis
African
of-
didn't?
No, because all right, let
Slippery
me make
slope.
this clear point. Let me make a point. Let me make a quick point. I ain't gonna talk y'all to death, I promise you. So, first of all, we need to kind of codify some of this. So, African nations are separate nations. We don't want to act like Europe have separate nations. So I specifically named European nations. I'm not going to sit and say we know everything about each African nation or each African tribe. I'm pretty sure that there was a tribe that snatched some women up, snatched some dudes up like y'all done. I'm sure it is. This is part of the human experience. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about like the Europeans had a global economy. The Arabs had a continental economy based off of that. So don't give me the one tribe. So I'm sure you can find one group of individuals, right, that went all the way with it that way. Okay? So we talking about context here. And what I'm saying is you won't find a global African trade, like continental trade, where everybody is doing this prior to Arabs coming through and destabilizing the fucking economy. That's what they did. Europeans coming through and destabilizing the economy where you ain't got no choice, yo. Like that, it is what it is. Now we can't trade. We can't because y'all in the carpet trade routes. We gotta be man. Just I'm gonna look to you, nigga. I'm beating you up. You ain't got it. I gotta do it. We saying prior to that. Where is the economy that's based off of that? We're not talking about quote unquote what you were prisoners of war. That ain't what we talking about. We're not talking about you owe the debt. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about you didn't rape somebody's child or kill somebody wrongly. We ain't talking about that. Y'all know what we talking about. Let me hear that. Because it's easy.
I'm lost.
Let me hear it.
I'm lost at this point.
I think, because I think if you're making an argument that Africa didn't have a global slave trade prior to the Europeans, and I mean, in order for
Arabs, right? Don't give me one tribe.
In order for it to be global, No,
I didn't. I said continental. I know what I said, bro. I used continental on that. We was
from continent to continent. You mean from Africa to Asia?
Hell no, fuck Asia. In the continent of Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa.
I'm not doing this. If you gonna sit here and make us believe that Africans wasn't practicing slavery on the continent before Europeans and Arabs, you done lost your mind.
All right. So let's go to Egypt.
No, you didn't heard us. I didn't put forth my case. No, you put forth your case. Because this is getting ridiculous.
I had to put forth my case.
I'm confused too. So you're saying like that the Egyptians
let's go to Egypt. Let's go. Right.
The Egyptians didn't enslave Nubians. So you're saying the Egyptians didn't enslave Nubians.
I'm saying the Egyptians didn't have a slave economy. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
I'm gonna make it easy for y'all.
Okay, fine. Egypt didn't have a slave economy. Next.
All right. So
I just showed you one who did. So you can scratch Egypt from the goddamn.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Chef, you didn't show us. No, you didn't.
I did.
Came from a time.
No, you didn't. You showed us one dealing with Arabs.
It doesn't
colonize
matter. It doesn't
matter. It does matter.
That's contextual. Like you don't.
I would like to see the evidence prior to the Arab that they had a slave economy, the people that you was talking about.
But we don't
get that. But you ain't gonna be able to see it, Kofi, because at that time period from back then, Arabs was the ones who was right.
Exactly.
And so you won't get no writings or no, you know what I'm saying, no history before them Arabs.
Okay, so
you're messing up Sutek. Hey, Sutek.
Well, I'm talking about in West Africa, Central Africa.
No, I'm saying so y'all trying to tell me they didn't have. Wait a minute, they got oral history, bro. That's not.
Yeah, they got oral history, but they ain't gonna give you no oral history of slave trade.
Why not, yo?
Because they take out the stuff that might embellish. I mean, that might.
Made that up.
Nah, bro. I made that up.
Yeah,
So you saying they don't take nothing out of oral history?
No, I'm saying so. Then why do we call it oral history?
What man Samu said in the oral history? Crickets. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
saying. The nigga
saying.
wasn't real.
They take shit out of oral history that might look
bad.
bad.
Nigga wasn't real, yo. How did Musa look bad?
He wasn't real.
I say, but how he look? He ain't going to no damn America.
But he sold slaves.
Nah, we ain't saying that. I'm not. You know, I ain't one of them dudes, bro.
You're just saying the oral tradition. Oh, you know the oral tradition on the trust. Come on, man.
Y'all trying to wait. Hold on. Let me get this straight. Hold on.
People lie in oral traditions.
Y'all
Like people lie in writings.
No, so you saying they left out all their oral traditions of buying and selling slaves? That's what y'all basically saying. That every tribe did that, left it out. All right. Okay.
Nah, he said
I'm just looking for one, yo.
In somebody oral history, I would think, because right now you're talking about belief. You're supposed to believe. We try to deal with what we know, and we know right now that we're dealing with the people that you're talking about is dealing with Arabs and Islam. Before that, we don't know. We dealing with protection.
Is it an old tradition? Is it an old tradition?
Here's what we know. Here's what we know. From time immemorial, tribes have been running up on other tribes, attacking them and taking their women, bro. And they need to execute their people. Hold on. Okay, so this is from time immemorial. The new wrinkle was actually servitude or slavery. That became a more ethical or norm instead of actually having to kill the person, right? Especially if you catch somebody younger, you know what I'm saying?
That's probably like dependent on the people, like they probably, it depends on a need. If they have a need or if they have some type of something for them to do, then they probably incorporate them in or whatever. But that probably differs. It varies. You know what I'm saying? As far as if you're gonna go back, you might have some that was killing whoever, and then you might have some that was incorporating them into the tribe. That's how we got, all these African tribes that's mixed up genetically. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like.
Of course, I'm not taking away from that, but I'm just saying within that dynamic, slavery existed. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be other things that go along with that, but we're talking about the slavery part of it, right? Like the slavery or the indentured servitude would be the new wrinkle, right? Because before that, they would just kill it. You know what I'm saying? So right. So in time, as you now start to build, right, an economy, right, a civilization, right. Now you can't just now you have laws. You can't just start max executing people, right? You don't have prisons. Right, so you have to set up a system in place for if somebody domestic violence, somebody stole something, somebody don't have money for taxes. So you have to set up a system in order to for people to pay back their debt, whether it's monetary or whether it's criminal, right?
I can agree with that, but I'm saying this idea of slavery.
That's no different, bro.
A whole different.
I'm working my way up, but I'm saying it like this. This is where the slavery begins there, right? So now when they come in contact, in contact with other tribes, we're building. No, I'm saying we're just walking throughout history, right? So now as these tribes come in contact,
you need some change, yo, else I'm gonna leave.
You know what I'm saying?
So listen,
as these tribes come in contact with other people, though, right, from other nations. Now they have these indentured people that they can barter with, who also need indentures. You see what I'm saying? So it's a natural progression. Go ahead.
Can you show that natural thing though?
That's we got. Come on, man.
Okay.
Don't hit with the natural.
So check this out.
I would like to see the evidence. Now I agree with what you're saying about a system that was set up, because you do see that. You see a system set up with prisoners of war. I said that we can see that in Central Africa, we can see that in North Africa, and we can see that in West Africa with these systems set up for as servitude of prisoners of war. I said that there were people there that was able to roam free, marry within the community or group that they did not belong to, and work off of debt. So there was a system. So whatever that system and that debt was, once they completed that debt, they was able to instill and integrate within that ethnic group or that society, or they could go home. So you do see the system, but I haven't seen, and I don't know everything neither. But I would like to see those systems. Okay, you got the Fulani, and you got the Shanti, and hey, the Shanti got prisoners of war. They got 100 people that are prisoners of war, and they like, hey, and they telling the Fulani, okay, we got a system. We're going to give you some so you can have prisoners of war. That's not how it works. So I'm asking, can you give me some examples or show that that's exactly what they did? One had prisoners of war, and then they say, hey, well, look, if you need some prisoners of war, we'll give you some prisoners of war, or we'll show you how to set up a system.
Not necessarily prisoners of war, because everybody, that's why I said everybody's not, like your entire indentured servitude would not be made up of prisoners of war. That would be detrimental to your society. You wouldn't want that many warriors, right? I'm talking about, this would be your common criminals, people that owe a debt, right? You're gonna have that dynamic working. But what I'm saying is this, because maybe y'all confused. This is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to get some clarity. So what are y'all saying? Y'all saying that prior to Europeans, that's all Africa did with indentured servitude, right? So now, what happened when they came in contact with other nations outside of Africa now? Or do they willingly engage in trading their servitude in prisoners of war? Are you saying that never happened? And they like explain that part to me. Like how did that happen?
You supposed to be explaining to us about, since y'all niggas say they had slavery.
Let me help y'all out. Let me jump.
Yeah, help us out. Yeah, that's all I'm asking. Help us out.
All right, let's read this. All right. Let's see. All right. Slavery has historically been widespread in Africa. Systems of servitude and slavery were common in parts of Africa in ancient times, as they were in much of the rest of the ancient world. When the trans-Saharan slave trade, Indian Ocean slave trade, and Atlantic slave trade, which started in the 16th century, began, many of the pre-existing local African slave systems began supplying captives for slave markets outside of Africa. Period. Meaning slavery was already going on in Africa, right? There was already slave markets in Africa. They just start supplying those. Markets for.
Can I help you out?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna help you out, Chef. What's the name of the book you reading from, bro? What's the time period you speaking of?
I just read out of Wikipedia. It's on the screen.
They got a source on there,
we
right?
can't see it. It's showing on YouTube, shit, but it ain't.
Nigga, it ain't showing
on here.
It ain't showing on y'all.
Yeah, when you share an eCam, for some reason they can't see it. That's why I just always share mine from inside the Zoom.
Okay, the source is Global African Cultures, 2010, written by Jennings and Justin, and Cambridge University Press, page 121 to 142. You got a problem with that?
Yeah, them niggas dove around. They say, where at, nigga? Nigga, they ain't say where, nigga, where, nigga. They just gonna holler at me.
Yeah, they told
you gotta keep in mind what you're reading and who you're reading from, and just basically, if I'm listening to you correctly, I'm hearing the same thing that would be the mixture of that servitude being interchanged with slavery.
Yep.
Nah, he said slavery.
What you're reading? I know. I'm saying it's being blended in and interchanged. Like,
but they made a distinction.
If you're reading and we have comprehension, we can read and see that what's being said.
It's not slavery servitude.
It also said they supplied captives.
Right.
Like you see it and go back and forth.
However you get to be a slave, whether you get captured from war, and that's one way you become a slave. Like y'all talking about the mechanism that turning people into slaves. That's the crazy part of
To
the
be a
argument.
captive, that means you've been a prisoner of war.
Yeah, but what do you do with prisoners of war? You make them slaves.
I know you what they did to the prisoners of war.
Kofi just explained that, bro. You integrated them into the society.
Right.
Most of the time.
They wasn't
all the time.
I said most of the time.
Yeah, they wasn't treated like what you thinking they was treated like. Like I'm saying, these people wasn't segregated and combined in a combined space. These people was able to roam freely. The only thing that hold them there was they had to work off of that. If I wanted to marry somebody inside, I could marry somebody. If I wanted to do other things, I could do other things. I wasn't whooped to death. I wasn't told when I can eat, when I couldn't eat. I wasn't given slop. So it was a different thing. That's why I talked about when you look at some of the things, when they started giving a prisoner of war to some of these Europeans, they thought that they was going to be treated the same way that they treated the prisoners of war, but it was something totally different. And that's where we getting it mixed up at it, interchanging. I'm thinking that when those people gave those prisoners of war to these Europeans, that they was doing the same thing that the very people that they gave, the prisoners of war that they gave to these European nations, the European nation did something totally different than what some of these groups did. That's where the confusion, excuse me, is actually coming into place. And we can see this all over Africa. So that's
thank you, sir. Show me that. Show me like where was the
I can show you. I can show you.
No, hold on. Because
I can show you.
No, accept it. I'm saying,
can I show you?
You ain't even let me finish.
You just said show you.
I want you to show me where a stipulation was put on what they were supposed to do with the slaves once they got them, or where there was a misunderstanding. Like, yo, you said you was going to do this. Okay, go ahead.
That's easy. Yeah, so when you're dealing with two separate cultures, yo,
you're married. Or just let me know what a source is. You can tell me, but just tell me where the source comes from, so I can at least have a point I can look to. Go ahead.
Damn, nigga, I'm trying to tell you that marriage is marriage, nigga, but it's different ways to do marriage. So it's different way to treat prisoners of war, yo. It's a slave and a prisoner of war is two separate things. It's cultural, bro.
No,
I'm just saying in the cultural context, I can just show you African. I can just show you African culture. I'm showing you. I'm saying African culture. I'm showing you. You can go all through Africa.
No, you making
it up. In Ghana, nigga. Ghana.
I'm saying show me where.
I'm saying going.
Show me where there was a disagreement or understanding that the Europeans would take these slaves and use them like this, and by doing it another way, they broke the agreement. That's what I'm looking for.
I never said it was you through the agreement in that.
That's what I asked for.
I'm saying, but an agreement that's crazy as fuck, nigga. That's like saying, yo, I'm gonna give you my wives, but you gotta treat the wives in this way, yo. You thinking that we doing it the same way, basically. I'm not saying that
so you can't.
I'm saying at first they didn't know my. Yo, first of all, the Europeans came over there kidnapping niggas. First of all, it wasn't we getting to know it was bands of Portuguese running around like thieves and night snatching niggas. It wasn't no big ass army that came in. That wasn't that. That wasn't that.
Not no large thing. They wouldn't run up in Africa like that.
Yeah, they was buying their slaves from other Africans.
The spears was serious, man. Well, I'm promise you, bro. That gun where it wouldn't need to be when they ran up the first time they came out.
That gun wasn't shit.
That gun wasn't shit. The spears were mighty, bro. The
rock throwing was mighty. The rock throwing was mighty.
Saying, like we discredited Africa when we say they just ran up.
Yeah, no, they did not. Right, that's my point. They didn't. Right. So I'm just saying the way that the mode of doing business was different. Like that's why I started with economies, meaning the economy wasn't based in that. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's the point. And that's my evidence is the economy themselves.
If it wasn't based in that, then how did they just tap in so seamlessly?
Yo, Timbuktu was a goddamn slave market. What are y'all talking about? Like, y'all
was that a Muslim nation? Was that a Muslim nation?
Yeah, African
they was.
Nation. African
and it wasn't just slaves either, bro.
So you blame it on it. So you don't blame it on the people. You blame it on the religion.
That's crazy.
The religion made it palatable for the people.
The religion, it's slavery and a religion, though, yo. You know that. I hear what you're saying, bro.
So now we're excluding Africans and African nations because they were Muslim.
No, we saying that the traditional African system in their bylaws itself, and they design, it was a design for the social construct or the institution of the economy of slavery. It wasn't designed that way.
You're making that up.
I'm not making that up.
If you think that, all right, let's find now you're forcing it. You're forcing it.
I'm forcing it all. No, I don't have to force it. Listen, we do have the record of history told vocally, bro.
So the Congo wasn't trading in slaves before they converted to Christianity.
Oh, so they was
trading, but they was trading. Yeah, they was trading. They was trading
before they converted to Christianity.
Of course they were trading before.
Huh?
Trading,
of course they were trading before, Kofi. No, we're not gonna argue that, bro. We know they were trading.
That's the point.
No, just because you trade don't mean you trade human bodies, though. Bro.
I specifically said they were trading slaves. They were trading slaves. What part? Like, why y'all acting like servitude is not slavery?
That's coming at me with right there, Sheriff. When you said slaves, I'm agreeing. Part is when they first come in, you see that they was trading, they was exchanging goods, and then they come back in and they wanted to renegotiate and say, "Hey, look, we're not going to give you these things. In exchange, we want bodies." So they come to an agreement that they was going to give bodies. I agree with you on that, but these people was in the same way that they was not treated the same as when they was handed over to those Europeans.
But context though, Kofi. Context though, right? The reason they renegotiated, right? Let's look at the context. Why did they renegotiate? Because once they discovered the New World, it gave them access to things that they were getting from Africa that they no longer needed. So now when the Africans come with those, so now when they go back, they're like, bro, I don't need
Sosa is even sicker than that. Think about it. The fact that you can give humans over to another, you don't care shit about them. You don't care what happened to them. There's nothing humane in that African who decided to give those other Africans to another group of people.
Most of these people they went to war with, right?
They didn't give a shit about those people.
That type of decision, or even fathom that type of decision, like
they grown men. How are they not?
Yeah.
I'm lost, y'all. Y'all think that these Africans was goddamn Gandhi, and like
ain't nobody saying that, bro. Ain't nobody saying that, bro.
So
I'm not saying like it's crazy that they it happens. Like it happens for really this circumstances and stuff that create that type of scenario for someone to even have to do that. Like there has to be some type of benefit. There has to be, you know what I'm saying? It's not just something that somebody just chooses to do.
Because they still wanted those goods. And once the European, it's like this. If I'm selling you carrots and you discover a place that got carrots, you ain't gonna want to trade carrots with me, but I still want the goods that you got. So I gotta come up with something else to get them goods you got.
We arguing over how we got done wrong. Like we're the victims of slavery from the European and the African that sold us. So I don't understand. We shouldn't be on neither one of their sides. We just gotta call a spade a spade.
You gotta put that in context, bro. It wasn't everybody. Everybody wasn't slave trade. The common man did not have anything to do with no slave trade.
Listen, you gotta once millions of people are starting to get moved, then this whole nation's dealing in that shit. This whole nation's dealing in that shit. So let me ask y'all this. Let me ask you this. Did Germany, was it just Hitler? Hold on. Let's put it in context. Was it just Hitler? Calm down, Was it just
come on, bro, don't do that. Don't take that extreme.
No, I'm asking the question. Was it just Hitler that did that shit during World War II, or was it the German people and Hitler?
It was one of the German people. It was the
Huh?
army, the third rank, nigga.
God, man. Y'all just be switching.
Man, y'all crazy. So I'm saying if an African nation or an African king, right?
Y'all ain't proved that yet.
Did
though.
that,
y'all both y'all like
then he
y'all
had to use his own people to do that. It wasn't just
man,
one
you got the
person.
government, nigga. You don't got the everyday old regular. The most Europeans didn't even own slaves. What are you talking about, bro?
Hey,
like I know
you
this.
missed the point.
That money's a
I'm not
whole
making a
problem.
point.
What he's saying is that Hitler can't do it by himself.
I'm saying that most Europeans didn't own slaves in America. I'm saying that most Europeans in America did not own slaves. So if we know that, then why are we using that crazy example?
Because
but you don't exclude them. You still put all of them in a mix, bro.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You put the people
God.
that makes us respond. Why didn't they lock up every citizen in Germany then? Because all citizens wasn't a part of that, bro.
When you talk about slavery,
you cut me
you
off,
talk about
yo.
America. You don't start naming names of all different people.
Yes, you do.
America.
In my conversation, we do.
Oh,
I don't know what kind of conversation y'all niggas have.
What you
mean? All of a
mean?
sudden, everybody white in America had slaves. I don't have that conversation. I'm a fool, right. Yeah,
you will make them things so nitpicking on that stuff. Like any other time
I'm
we
not
had an
nitpicking.
argument, you don't do this, bro. You know.
Yes, I do.
We talk about the transcontinental slave trade.
No, it was rich businessmen, my nigga. The average person couldn't afford no damn slaves in a plantation.
Of course, we know that, bro. When we talk about we talk about the Congo. We not talking about every single individual in the Congo. That we crazy. We just it's just
y'all just made up a whole Congo slave trade out of nowhere.
It was because it was a Congo slave trade. Why are you acting like we're making this up? Africans sold slaves. Get over it.
I know. I'm not getting over that.
The fact that we here,
African royalty and traders sold slaves.
Aren't they Africans?
Yeah, I mean, who else?
Yeah, but
I mean, who else can sell? Who else can engage in slave trade? But though, I mean, come on.
But you have to put that into context though, because when you say it that way,
they just running out there like that.
Yeah, but that's understood though. We don't gotta put
that ain't understood by everybody, bro. I promise it ain't.
Bro, we know that we don't. We know that.
We know that, but it's a whole. It's 90. It's almost 100 people out there watching though.
Man, I don't think nobody was ever confused, thinking that the broke farmer was.
Man, you must not know about the conscious community.
Trying to, hey, can I sell my daughter? Like, come on, bro. We know it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it's out of hand. I feel like what we're doing is okay. I feel like once the African sold people, like they in the same boat as the European at this point. I'm not looking at them like we're the victims of that nonsense. You know what I mean? They ain't care nothing about us. Once they gave us to the white man, they didn't care what. Once they got
that's what context does, bro. Taking shit out of context. You saying they don't care nothing about us? It was different ethnic groups against different ethnic groups. It wasn't there. It wasn't no homogenous African. We all African. We so black.
Right, that ain't what that was. And you made that up, Chef. That's like you telling me, put this shit for real, yo.
What are you saying? Like,
nigga, the Muslims wasn't selling Muslims.
It's your turn. Go.
Arab Muslims was not enslaving other Arab Muslims, bro. But yet the Africans sold Africans. I'm not going for that. You get somebody else with that. Go get somebody else with that.
Yes, they
don't
did.
Know no better.
What are you talking about? Oh my God.
No, they didn't. Nigga, they sold other. If you was an African Muslim, your ass was grass. But it was laws against that. Yeah, they sold African Muslims, nigga. I know what I'm saying, Chef. You tripping.
So you telling me the Arabs didn't have their own slaves that were Arabs?
Man, it was a law against it in the Quran, was it not?
Oh my God.
I'm asking you a question.
If it was a law against it, meaning they participated in it.
Of course, but they had laws against it. So no one says, you never hear nobody sell their mouth that the Arabs enslaved their own people. You never hear that. But when it comes to the African, you misconstrued own people because it wasn't the kings and queens' own fucking people. It was another whole nation. Y'all, they mix it all up all the time, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we just mean
that's the point I'm making.
Africans. I mean, no different than Native Americans enslaved other Native Americans. Like, there's never really this type of argument when we say Native Americans enslaved other Native Americans. Now, did that mean that they enslaved their mom and their daddy? No. Like, we know
it's their job to clean that shit up.
Like, we understand what's being said when we make those statements, though. Like, we don't gotta. I think when we do the jump through hoops, I think it's like we're trying to really avoid the fact that they did what they did. Like, we're not wrong in saying what they're saying. You're just saying that we should say it differently. That's what y'all argument is, that we agree, but you should say it differently. That's what y'all are arguing.
I don't agree about the slave markets. Yeah. No, I don't agree about that.
Prisoners of war, but like I'm saying, it's not necessarily saying it's a whole idea attached to saying it different. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole slavery idea comes from certain people. Like, I don't know how that gets left out, but that's when you want to like overgeneralize or be super simple, you leave out this kind of stuff. This is why we be trying to keep stuff in context. This is why what you calling loop jumping is not that. It's us trying to keep context and offer these details that get missed when you gloss over things.
And an opportunity you leave open for misinterpretation.
Yeah, but I mean, as many times, I feel like if we're having a conversation, we should know at least where we're at first.
Yeah, but we talking to a listening audience, so we have to keep that in mind too. I mean, we may, a lot of the people, I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence that's in the chat, but a lot of times, a lot of the people in the chat, because they come in the chat because they trying to learn what we know. So we have to be careful and not leave a window out there where people can assume certain things. That's why we keep saying, let's put it in context. And then, like I'm saying, we confuse them, and then we confusing slavery and prisoners of war, two different things. That we're confusing. And that's where I think the people's getting lost at with the confusion. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to give the context on what exactly they actually did when these other ethnic groups, like I'm saying, they fought against each other. You know what I'm saying? And between the fighting with each other, you know what I'm saying? They killed people. They made people work. But they didn't do it to an extreme like the European did. And then when I'm saying they went to, and no different than you got somebody from Uganda trading with another person in Uganda. They traded for different goods because certain things grow differently in different places. So I want what you got, the natural resources that you got, the natural resources that I got. So they traded with each other. And then when the Europeans or the outsiders came in, the outsiders introduced them to things that they didn't have. So they wanted to trade with them. And, and it could have been, I don't know, it could have been a thing where these European nations, okay, they saying, well, shoot, man, the Africans, man, they enslaving people too. I don't know that they enslaving people too, and misinterpreting exactly what they was doing and how they was handling these people that they actually went to war with, how they treated these people that they actually went to war with, and probably assume, okay, well, they actually doing the same thing that we were trying to do. So, okay, now let's go in and let's renegotiate. I don't want none of your goods anymore. I want the bodies that you got, that you acquiring, that these people that you may have went to war with. I want these bodies. You know what I'm saying? So
listen, speak to the journey that these prisoners of war, either the servants went through, being transported from the interior to the coastline. Like, talk about that.
Okay,
I could talk about. Hold on, I could talk about.
No. Speak to
the African kings.
Don't change it.
No, listen, because the point I want to make, I'm not going to let you direct me. Not going to let you direct me the way you're trying to direct me right now.
I'm asking a question. I asked a question.
Okay, but I want to add to a statement for you.
How you gonna add a statement and you didn't even get contact? You gonna curve the argument.
I'm not trying to curve nothing. I want to go back to a point he made.
When they transported those indentured servitude, those prisoners of war from the interior to their coastline. It was a horrific trip, bro. And they experienced all type of. So you're saying that's not. So, hold on. So you're saying that's not true, like, because I don't want you to make me try to go get a source.
I'm saying so first we
correct,
need
bro.
so first we need some chains. And we know the Arabs actually put together the chains with the distance between people walking. So you need some chains. You need some chains around their neck. You need some chains around their legs.
They used to take a tree, carve holes in it, right? Like a plank, carve holes in it, and place their necks in a hole, like in a line, like how a tree straight, like wood. They would do it like that and put them all together where they can walk them in lines, bro. Like they talk, like the Africans over there in the continent tell the story about that to this day.
Yeah, they do that, but they be in chains too at the same time.
Yeah, but
chains too, bro. I'm trying to
I
make
know
a
what
point.
you're talking about, though. So
they was in chains.
And you know about the brutality, right? Like, I don't got to go there, right?
Mm-hmm.
From that interior to the coastline, right?
No,
and then not only from the interior to the coastline, how long those people would be in those dungeons on that coastline, how many of them would die there before they would even have a chance to be shipped off, bro?
Okay. So you say they in the dungeons?
No. Yeah. The people once they marched them to the port, because the Europeans they wasn't strong enough to get to the interior. They can only dock on the outer edges.
Yeah, man, you skipping shit though. So go ahead and skip through, yo.
Hey, but look. I enjoy the conversation, man. I got to get out of here, man. I got to go.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be my days where I supposed to be with my wife. You know what I'm saying? On Monday,
go ahead, man. Yeah, you late.
On Mondays, and I've been on here too long, man. She already tripping.
Yeah, she's supposed to trip. Yo. Appreciate you, Kofi.
Yeah, so I got to get out here, man. I appreciate everybody, man, on the panel, man. Good show.
Good show, though.
Man. I appreciate you, man, for jumping on, man, with me today, man. I appreciate y'all, the pseudo killers, man, for allowing me to come on the platform, man, and just engage in the intellectual conversation with y'all, man. So I'm out of here, man, and I'll see y'all
all right,
next.
bro.
All right, peace.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna let you have that. So you just I'm gonna let you have that.
You can let me have
it. You go ahead and take. Yeah, you go ahead.
You ain't never let me have nothing. If you let me have it, I got it. I already know, nigga.
No, because I know some things going on. I know that those Africans, those nations weren't familiar with the brutal system of slavery they had. It's not like they came and told the truth. They, for the most part, they were saying we just need some workers.
They didn't care.
Right? And so the chiefs were selling the workers. You cut me off in the middle of what I'm saying, though. Like you acting like a nigga knew that. It was impossible for them to know that.
You acting like they
So
cared.
for them, they was I'm simply saying they was simply selling workers abroad, yo. And then some people volunteered to go abroad. They didn't know that, nigga, once you got me, that's it. I'm chained up. They didn't know that at first. Later on, they figured it out and they willfully did it. But we got to put it all in context. Because it wasn't that a prisoner of war wasn't treated like a slave, no matter what y'all say. But I'm gonna let y'all just have that. I'm gonna get off this joint and let y'all rock.
No, how you figure they what? Where are you getting this from?
I'm out of here. I'm done. I don't gotta talk.
Go ahead. Bye. Because I'm trying to figure out.
Go ahead and rock it out.
I'm trying to figure out.
You should know.
Where
you haven't figured out.
I thought you was gone.
I'm gone.
This guy crazy. That's my man. I'm trying to figure out, y'all, when once they like Sosa was just saying, once they chain you up and walk you from the interior all the way to the coast, people dying on there on the way. They don't care what happened to you. If they gonna put you through all of that, they don't care what that white man do to you by the time he give them to you. They just want their goods. They don't care shit about you.
That's your opinion. I can't find the source, but I've seen different. I've seen a source where they speak on that, but I can't find it at this moment. But when I do, I'll show. I don't know where I saw this today.
So the African was stabbed, beat,
burn
down the village, and then say, look, they would raid a village, right? Burn it down, kill people. The rest of the people chain them up, and then say, I care about what y'all gonna do to them, but I'm gonna sell them. They don't care nothing about those people. That's the whole point.
Always happen. That's not. That's you projecting. That's how every person got imprisoned and enslaved, and that's not true. Like that's a whole overgeneralization and an oversimplification.
All right. Well, I would say that would be 70% of the.
I would give you that it could happen in that way, but I'm saying if that wasn't all the time how that shit happened. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, now we have clear records of the Ashanti raiding other villages for slaves.
And that is one tribe that you just mentioned.
A big tribe, and they was big tribe.
A big tribe and a big continent.
Yeah.
So it's more than just that. You know what I'm saying? Like Sean put something in the chat. He described the servitude of the mandate. Hold on, let me read it out here real fast. Real quick.
Didn't the Masi get engaged in slave trade too, right?
He says, among the mandate societies in Mali, Senegal, the Gambia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Libya, Ivory Coast, and the Ghana, people are divided by occupation and ethnic ties. The highest hierarchy in the mandate caste system in Huron nobles / freeborn are traditional farmers, fishermen, warriors, and animal breeders, and the lowest caste are the Juno, a slave caste made up of people whose ancestors were enslaved by other Africans during wars. An important feature of this system are castes based on trades such as blacksmith and griot. The Soninke people are a West African ethnic group found in eastern Senegal, its capital, Dakar, northwestern Mali, and in southern Mauritania, predominantly Muslims. The Soninke were one of the early ethnic groups from the sub-Saharan West Africa to convert to Islam about the 10th century. The contemporary population of Soninke people is estimated at over 2 million. The cultural practices of Soninke people are similar to the Mandate people and include social stratification. According to the anthropologist Kamari, the Soninke society became highly stratified after their 13th century. The Soninke strata have included three categories called Hor or Horan, a caste system category called Maxala or Naya Axamalo, and slave called Como. In the Jahar subgroup of the Soninke people, the nobility called Tunalimu was another strata. The slaves were the largest strata, one at the bottom among the Soninke, like other West African ethnic groups, and constituted up to half the population. The slaves among the Soninke people were hierarchically arranged into three strata. The village slaves were a privileged servile group who lived apart from the village and took orders from the village chief. The domestic slave lived with a family and could not be sold. The lowest level among the slaves were the trade slaves who could be bought and sold. With time, each of these strata became endogamous, states Daniel Littlefield, a professor of history. The Timid people are a West African ethnic group. They are predominantly found in the northwestern and central parts of Sierra Leone, as well as the national capital, Freetown. Some Timne are found in Guinea. The Timne constitute the largest ethnic group in Sierra Leone at 35% of the total population. Timne society consists of patrilineal clans. It's predominantly a mix of Muslim and polytheists, and some clans feature castes. The artisans and musicians in the Timne society have been endogamous caste people. The terminology of this social stratification and the embedded hierarchy may have been adopted among the Timne from the nearby Maniki people, Fula people, and Susu people. The caste hierarchical social stratification has been more well established in northern Islamic parts of Timid territory. The endogamous slave class were held in Timid castes and agricultural workers and domestic servants, and they formed the lowest subservient layer of the social strata. Enslaved women served as domestic workers, wives, and concubines. Slaves have historically been a separate endogamous group in the Wolof society. Slavery was either inherited by birth in the Wolof society or were kidnapped, purchased as children from desperate parents. During difficult times, such as a famine or slavery, was imposed by the village elders as a punishment for offenses. By the early 18th century, all sorts of changes and petty crimes resulted in accused being punished in the slave strata. Slaves acquired by kidnapping, purchased, or as captives of war were called jam sayer in the Wolof society. So there it is explaining it. It was going on. And from what I'm seeing, there's a lot of it going on.
But that agrees with the point that we've been making, though.
In what sense?
That slavery existed, that even in conjunction with the in servitude, like the article said.
That was awesome. That was some awesome read. You definitely helped us out.
Yeah, you talking about slaves being born into a slave.
I'll put you context. So if you feel like that helps you out, then that's cool too. So yes, it was some context added to it. And
yeah, definitely. But you definitely put context to what we were saying.
Can I jump in for a second? This is Brother God.
Brother Garfield.
How y'all doing?
Peace and love.
I'm offended by the name of the show, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the context of African slavery is not a fair name to call something. If you look at it from a perspective of during the trans-Saharan trade, when you had the trade between Ouagadougou and those folks who took Africans or people who lived in the region up to Asia or to West Asia or different areas during the time of the Muslim control, would you call it Africa at that time? I don't think we would call it Africa at the time. But what I would say is that if you look at like a kingdom of like a Benin, you could see that the kings were directly involved some way, somehow. We can't sugarcoat that at all, basically with the Brazilian connection. But if we look at the transatlantic slave trade and the trans-Saharan slave trade, it's two different perspectives or two different ways how people were traded and people who were prisoners of wars were traded. So I wouldn't call it African slavery because it was a whole trading network that went throughout the world. So it just was something that was done. It's a trading network of slaves and for goods and services, like what Uncle was talking about. As far as African slavery, you're talking in a context of 2022 today or 2021. When we look at Africa, we look at all 53 independent states, but those borders did not exist at the time of the trans-Saharan slave trade. Like Ouagadougou is nowhere where Ouagadougou is, Ghana is today. And different areas that people moved, people shifted. So what I want to know is, why would you call it African? This is for Sheffrin and for anybody on the panel. Why would you call it African slavery when it actually was a whole network together based off of different areas in the world?
You said, why would I call it African?
African slavery, yeah.
Because the slave trade, it was dealing with Africans. And it was on the continent of Africa. That's where they were getting the slaves from. So why would Africa not be in the title? Like, okay, it was a network between Europe and America.
Let me ask you one question.
It spilled over from another show.
Hold on 1 second. Let me ask you one question. When the trans-Saharan slave trade was going on, right? Which African countries were involved?
When the trans-Saharan.
Yeah, trans-Saharan, because there's Black folks that was taken from what we call today the continent of Africa. Who was responsible at that time?
Who was responsible?
Africa, yeah, which country in Africa was responsible for the
No,
slave
no,
trade.
we don't have we don't have the modern day names for the countries of Africa, because that was before those names was put on those countries, right?
That was before it was Africa, right? So why do you call it African slavery? So you got to pinpoint and tell me, because you're now condemning and convicting all the countries in Africa right now by calling it African slavery. Like something like all 53 countries were participating in, and everybody was. All it was, bro, it was different tribes doing different shit. That's all it was. But
so
these tribes
did all the European nations participate in slavery?
Yes.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on one second. He asked me the question. He asked Garfield a question. If you look at the Hanseatic League, right, and what they did, all the countries in Europe were participating in some sort of trading network with Black people. I will say it. Garfield will say that, and I could prove it. Every single one of them was trading Black bodies. This was way before the transatlantic slave trade.
What time period?
Any time period. Because
I don't agree with that.
Look at this. Hold on one second.
I'm saying name a time period so we can be with you, so I can.
Hold on.
At the time of the transatlantic slave trade.
I don't mean to bring the Bible into this, but you see what's wrong with the whole thing. I don't agree with you,
Garfield. You're making it up.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm making it up. But watch this. If you look at the Hanseatic League and them trading the whole time period, the reason why the Portuguese kept going and looking and exploring and looking for other places is because of the Ottoman Empire and the Muslims cutting off their money access to trade routes.
Yes,
These trade routes were always going always have some sort of connection to Black folks, whether it's the Indian Ocean slave trade, whether it's, or we want to call it the East African slave trade, from way back in the times with the Zanj and all that different stuff with the Mongoloids, later on with them and all that different foolishness. All I'm saying to you is Black bodies were being traded for a long period of time in different periods of time. And I could document it for you if you want to see it. So when you say Europe, if all the Europeans were involved, every single one of them were involved some way, somehow, not only with the transatlantic slave trade, but with the trans-Saharan slave trade, with the Indian Ocean slave trade, and the Silk Road, when they used to trade people through the Silk Road and do different things or whatever they used to do, and different things. There was trading all over the world, Black bodies at some time in history. So if you want to say to us right now, even in the BC era, there was trading Black bodies. Slavery goes back way back. So what I'm saying to you is, I want you to pinpoint to me which particular African culture, or let me call it culture, which particular African culture or tribe are you putting this slavery on? If you want to say the Kingdom of Benin or those people over that side, or your kingdom and what their role in the transatlantic and all that stuff, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is I want you to pinpoint to me who are these people in Africa that's responsible for this African slavery you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
So I could go back and claim some reparations. Come on, let's go.
I'm saying like the conversation is a spillover from another conversation we had and we transferred over. That's why the title looks like the way it is.
Oh, okay, my bad.
You agree with the aspects that we're arguing. They've been rejecting every argument. Like
who was rejecting it?
Unking them as usual.
Every argument.
No, there's no African country today that's responsible. Some of them claim and say, yeah, we are sorry, like Ghana, but Ghana is not Ghana.
We wouldn't say,
you know what I'm saying?
Put it on the continent. We're just saying, like they were saying, slavery didn't exist in Africa.
Put it on the whole continent, bro. He literally said they all did it.
I don't think nobody said that, bro.
I don't know about they all did it. I don't know about that part.
You just said all of the Europeans did.
I'm saying as far as
when it comes to the Africa.
No. Hold on a second. Let's look at this. Do you have a record of the people that deal with the Syria stuff? Do you have a record of them being a part of the slave trade?
Of who?
People that deal with the dog, Sirius, that whole foolishness that they talk about.
The Dogon.
Yeah. Do you have records of them being a part of the trans-Saharan slave trade or the transatlantic slave trade? Okay.
No, but now you're talking about an ethnic group.
I just proved my point.
No, you're talking about an ethnic group.
No. Yeah, but they're a part of Africa. They're a part of Africa.
Yeah, but
Right, but
more ethnic groups.
This is the point.
They exist.
This is the point. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Would you agree? Would you agree, Sheffrin, would you agree with Garfield that the people of Ouagadougou, ancient Ghana, the people of Ouagadougou, were involved in carrying Africans, what we call Africans today,
into North Africa.
Into North Africa and having them. Okay, would you agree to that? So I would put blame on the people of Ouagadougou for what they're doing. This is what I'm asking you. I want you to put an ethnic group or people who were involved in the transatlantic slave trade, who are if you want to say it's all Africa, piece of Africa, some parts of Africa. Who? What about the losing tribes? The losing tribes who always get beat up, they ain't involved. They always got beat up. So who
just
are
like
these?
you want context, I want context with the kings, the royalty, and the traders. Those people, not the common folk.
That makes sense.
That's the same dynamic as this in Europe. There's people that's just not powerful enough to be involved. Period. You know, they're getting ran over. You know what I'm saying? Then got feudalism going over there, serfs and shit, man. They ain't got, and they're not involved.
All you got to do to shut up anybody who says there wasn't any slavery and anything. Just pinpoint the people. That's it. Instead of we doing it blanket.
Yeah, but we said
no, but we was
the Congo. They rejected the Congo. You know what I'm saying? We said we talked about slavery.
We talked about Canaan Barnu. They rejected Canaan Barnu.
The conversation was a slave economy.
No, that's
and they had a slave economy.
Well, you didn't prove that, bro.
Canaan Barnu, one of their main exports was slaves.
There was no slave economy in West Africa.
There wasn't no slave economy.
What? Y'all,
man, now you saying primarily.
You need to read Basil Davidson's work, West Africa from 1000 to 1800. Go to the section on general economic life of West Africa. They didn't have a slave economy. It was more of gold. Gold was the main trading apparatus in like West Africa. Yes, there was slavery.
I just named a specific group. Listen, Avery, I just named a specific group. Now, you got to go deal with that. I ain't talking about all that stuff. I named a specific group that it said that their main export was goddamn slaves, not gold. So you got to deal with that. You and Basil Davis, go deal with that. Now back to you, Garfield.
What's up, King?
Jefferson.
Hey, by the way, shout out to you wearing the name L, because I mean, if you want to give a shout out to Adahu the Moor. Adahu the Moor. Yeah, all right. Adahu the Moor. I want to give a shout out to him. Helping the Portuguese look for damn stupid ass.
Since we talking about slavery,
looking for gold and shit, right?
Yeah, I'm a Berber.
The mythical man.
Are you a Berber that helped them Europeans start the transatlantic slave trade?
Y'all want to know something? I just found some reading up in the Ottoman Empire. I just found some info on Adahu the Moor.
On who?
On Adahu the Moor. Reading up on this information that I've been reading up on the Ottoman Empire and the slave trades and shit like that. And
So, right, but when we talk about Africa, right, we talk about it in general, and then we get specific. Now, when we talk about it in general, we'll say African slavery, meaning the slavery that happened on the continent of Africa. Y'all saying that's not real because there's no African nation now, because the names didn't change. These people existed in tribes and kingdoms that wasn't named what these current countries are named today. But you can still go back and pinpoint these people. Like, and when we do it, like, it's no way around the argument.
No, well, if you're saying there's a slave economy, that has to be pinpointed though. You got to say which tribe, what time period, give us the evidence, give us the sources, and then go from there. If you're not, I don't know if you did it before. I'm just saying, as far as a methodology is concerned.
If these empires don't exist no more, like it is no African nation that existed from the 1300s to now. Like that, we don't have that. Africa is not that place, right? It was colonized and broken up and carved up, right? with the Berlin Conference. So what you're asking for don't exist the same way when they
that's not true. That's not true, bro. How we know about Ouagadougou? How do we know about what the Benin Kingdom did?
No,
how do we know what? Look at Wida.
They're not current nations, Garfield.
No, but I'm saying to you, we know
they
the
definitely
areas,
had slaves.
we know the areas where things happen. So that's what I'm saying. You need to pinpoint. So if you say there's a slave economy, there is a tribe that was involved with that slave economy. Remember, when the British, although most of the information we're getting from outsiders writing it, because we were more of an oral culture than you know what I'm saying, than writing stuff down. Right. So what I will say is that we still have documentation from outsiders on certain things. And I think especially the Benin Kingdom and what went on there for years, from the 1600s and so forth, and even the 1500s for some places, we have documentation. Whether we trust it or not, or we trust it a little bit, there's still information we can get out of what they wrote. But what I'm saying to you is what you're making about the slave economy is a very big claim. I've never saw proof of that in my life. Never.
Yo, can I add something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so in Nigeria, you got Igbo Ukwu. I think it's a place. I don't know if it's the kingdom or not. You could look it up. IGBO hash. Wait, how you say it? Dash or whatever. UK.
It's West Africa, man. And Masuara clan dude's gonna get you.
UK.
Right.
UKWU. You could also look up the ARO Confederacy, ARO Confederacy.
Right. Okay.
Long Juju. But I brought up the Igbo Ukwu first because I got this book by Thurston Shaw, Nigeria, in agriculture, archaeology, and early history. So when they were burying these kings and stuff, they buried slaves on top of them. You know what I'm saying? As a means to bury these great kings with their servants or their slaves that they wanted to take with them.
What about it?
But Africans didn't do slavery.
What's that?
How does that prove a slave economy? I don't get it.
That's not exactly.
How does that prove?
Why you keep saying nobody said there was no slaves? I don't think.
Oh my God. Y'all the whole time.
But they're calling
ain't no romanticism going on, man. We know dudes.
So we're just gonna disqualify that these bodies are buried on top of these.
Okay, nobody's disqualifying that.
What did that got to do with a slave economy?
Because our conversation is bigger than just a slave economy.
Yeah, that was the conversation, and that became the conversation again right now.
Yeah, but y'all talked about servitude, and it wasn't slavery; it was servitude. Y'all took it in.
No, we said most of those were prisoners of war that was being traded.
What's that?
So how do you become a slave?
How do you become a slave?
Yeah.
Probably between war or kidnapping,
right. So when y'all call them prisoners,
it depends on trade. You could have traded just people's kids or whatever for marriages. There's things like that.
Nah, you're making that up. You're making that up. You ain't got no evidence of that. You're making that up, bro. We got to deal with facts. If you're not bringing sources, we can't say it. I don't play games. Hold on a second, bro.
Let me go back to the index.
I'm about to jump off. I'm gonna say this. This is what happened when you have this conversation. Anybody makes a claim, you got to have a rule. If you don't have a source, you can't make the claim. If you're gonna do that,
that's what makes this show
or shut up. Hold on a second. Source up or shut up. That's what Uncle always says, right? So if we're gonna make an empty, hold on a second. If we're gonna make a blanket claim, blanket statement, and blanket claims, it don't make no sense. Y'all gonna be talking for hours back and forth and trying to act like I know more than you and you know more than me. Nah, it ain't about that. If it's not about sources,
that's what you just inserted. We was talking about these histories.
Garfield, you ain't showed the source though.
No, I'm not showing any source. I'm not a part of no conversation. I'm here to ask a question.
So y'all want to look up long Juju?
Hold on. The only reason why I jumped on, because I wanted evidence of the slavery economy. That's the only. I don't care about. Forget everything that I said. Who cares? Garfield pseudo. All I'm saying is, Show me
But
evidence
Jeff
of
brought
the
up one.
slavery economy. That's it.
I showed one,
Jeff already brought
and
one
they
up.
said it don't count. Hold on. They said it don't count because it was during the Muslim time period. I don't know what else to do.
Muslim time period.
Yeah, they said since Muslims was involved, since it was after the Islamic period, then they struck it off the record.
I
Meaning
answered
if they were Muslim, it don't
All
count.
right.
Well,
Can
I'm
I
gonna
share
go
my
back.
screen, Chef?
I'm gonna go back and watch the show, man. That's what I'm gonna do. All right.
Can I share my screen, Chef?
But anyway, I'm out of here, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace and
All
love,
right,
man.
Garfield. Appreciate you,
Peace.
bro.
No problem, man. Peace.
All right. Let's share my screen. I'm finna read something real quick with y'all. Let's share something with y'all real quick. This is talking about what we talked about now. I mean, I got a couple of sources I can share on it. I'm gonna go to one specific thing. I think this is
Dealing with the what? The slave trade?
Conversation be all over the place.
Nah, this is gonna be right here.
Nah, I'm saying in general. That's how we don't know what's going on. One person saying this, one person saying that.
So right here.
Introduction.
Y'all see that? Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you on the screen.
All right, so let me get to the introduction. So right there, it tells you that it's 10,000 years old, right? I just want to, so slavery has been around for forever. That's the first thing I wanted to establish.
Yeah, we got that.
Right. So, but see, what this is talking about a different type of slave trade. This is actually talking about the Ottoman slave trade and the effect that it had on Africa. So if you see, it says from right here, y'all can read. It says in the 1st century, the author of Periplus of the Red Sea reported on the trade with people from Somalia to Egypt. In the following centuries, traders from Oman, Yemen, Turkey, Egypt, Persia, and India dominated the trade in the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean until European powers displaced them at the end of the 19th century. The Ottoman period in this region covers about 400 years, but it is unclear how many victims this time claimed in the Horn of Africa. From Sudan comes figures of 100,000 victims who died only in the counterinsurgency of one.
Siri, your microphone be too crazy for me. You fading. Go ahead.
Now your screen messing up.
You fading in and out like always.
Good information too, though. That was some good information.
Yeah, like
all right, so right here, this is really what I was looking for right there. Between 650 and 1600, 4.5 million, and between 1500 and 1800, a further 2 million people are said to have been sold through the Sahara. All right, and then if you go back up here goes some more numbers. So this is just one of my little sources on it. But what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is that the slavery in Africa, the economy wasn't fueled off of slavery. And see, that's what happened with the Ottoman Empire and the transatlantic slave. The economy was built off of slavery. Hold up, I got one more source I want to share, and this book that I'm studying right now. And this one has some jewels and some bombs. All right. And this is very important to everything that what Garfield just said.
Well, let me ask y'all this. What do y'all think the Africans was exporting from the 15th century to the late 1800s? What was their export? If they didn't have slave economies, what was their main exports? Come on, like be for real.
You see,
Africa was coming out of Africa.
No, it wasn't over.
You see what does that say? Can somebody just read that right there for me? Just that first sentence.
I can't.
The Ottoman Empire stood at the crossroads of intercontinental trade at the dawn of the era of capitalism.
Don't need to go no further.
Yeah, but listen, but the other, before we get out that point right there, Shed is made from the 15 to 1800, right? The reason we know that we can we can at least pinpoint that period. The reason we know that is because when they abolished slavery, it had a phenomenal impact on Africa itself because its economy was built on slavery. At least from the 1800. That I don't think that can be.
Their shit collapsed.
They collapsed, bro. Like we can't like we got to at least be like we can at least agree to that, though, right?
And see, this
Did
is
it
what
collapse because of slavery? Is that what you're saying?
Slavery
because
economy
slavery was no more slavery.
Yeah.
So how was
they created that? They created that demand.
Hold on, but listen, you're creating a straw man.
that's colonization.
No, but do we agree from the 15s to the 1800s that their economy, right? When I'm talking about all of Africa, all those participants in that particular region, that their economy was built off slavery. And when slavery was abolished, their shit collapsed.
I would have to.
Those economies was already built, bro.
They didn't have guns.
So you don't agree? So y'all don't agree?
I need some data.
Gold and books were the main trading commodities in West Africa.
So what?
Say it again.
Gold and books.
They're not trading no gold. They don't need it in 1800. They got
Who the hell was buying African books?
In North America.
Right.
Come on, man.
You see that what they were going into Africa and getting before they started getting slaves was mainly gold, spices.
Yeah, but once they
once they got control of once they got control of the port of Due, right there off the Mediterranean Ocean, going across to India, that actually started blocking Africa away, taking Africa away from everything.
Once they got to the new world, bro, they got access to, you know how much gold the goddamn Incas and niggas had?
Hold up. You see, y'all. What I just showed should let y'all know, right? Because hold up, I got to bring this back up on the screen because they wasn't even in the new world. Hold up.
But I'm just talking.
This book right here is talking about gold in the Ottoman Empire. Gold coming with you, bro. Hold on, stop. Because what you're saying is that
let me make my statement, bro. Fabio, you cut me off in the middle of making my statement, bro. Let me make my statement. I'm not having an argument with you about the Ottoman Empire. I'm
trying to get you to understand that they didn't need to go to America, that they weren't going to America to get gold. The Portuguese and the Spanish that you're talking about, because they had gold already over there in Spain and stuff. That's great. I'm letting you know.
Okay, cool. But can we agree that once they got to the New World, they had more gold? Can we agree to that? Right?
No, I don't think they had that much gold over here, bro.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. They had them shits to the ceiling.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
When Cortez caught Montezuma over there, they said, "Yo,
it was a legend. That was a legend.
Nah,
that was a legend."
No. He said in order for us to free him, you need to stack this shit to the ceiling with gold, and we will free him. And when they got the shit filled up, they killed him anyway. That ain't a legend. That's real shit.
Oh, for real?
Dang.
Yeah,
he's real.
I mean, come on, I'm tripping with that one. Yeah, that's real shit.
I didn't think they was paid like that.
And plus, if you read Eric Williams,
this was worthless to them. Like they was like this. It was like, why y'all
see how y'all gonna skip to the new world? And see, that's our problem.
Because Sabio, the reason I deal with the new world because Chef made a comment about the 15 to the 1800. So I was working within the time.
This is all in the 15 to the 1800s. You can't skip what's happening with our people
go ahead, bro.
underneath the Ottoman Empire, bro. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. This is what we have been doing. We have been skipping at least 600 years, and Chef said it. We have been skipping at least 700 years of history from after that. And because what happens is we jump straight from what? The greatness of Africa to 1492. But what happened? And this is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. This is what was happening in between with our people. So they was blocking Africa from trading coins and getting gold. And they was going in there with guns and cannons and raiding and making pacts with African tribes to get slaves and using it so deep.
Out to these niggas, Sabio.
It's so deep. It's so
only saying what we've been saying since the damn show started.
You love the Ottomans, man. Woo.
This is what we've been saying since the show started, though. But I just feel like y'all are dismiss Africans based on the fact y'all be like, well, they was Muslims. Y'all will throw out them.
What you mean dismiss them though? Like
right, I'm saying like they had slavery. Like
whenever they bring like when Chef bring up a point, you'd be like, well, was they Muslims? Or did they convert to Islam? Or was Arabs there?
Because we know where
that's one of the things you have to put into context.
Exactly.
Can't be ignored. Like once I know that, I'm like, okay, well, I know what that comes from. I know why that happened.
You know where that influence came from.
I mean, you know what you know more because you get the damn writing at that time. That's why you know. But we do know. But before the king converted to Christianity, he was trading slaves. He just convert as like an agreement. Like, yo, okay, boom. All right, I'm gonna convert. So now we got a pact. Now we related through the religious shit.
Bro, most of them traders weren't even trading with you unless you was a Muslim.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so they like, all right, and back then they didn't even.
That's what I'm saying. So that came with Islam, came with slavery.
Before that,
slavery
though, like even in these tribes, like they own culture.
Or slave trading.
Slave
trading. My bad.
Listen,
slave trading.
But listen, slavery was already in there. But hold on. Hey, we too many at one time. Listen, slavery was already there.
Islam is Arab, yeah.
But hold on, slavery was already there, right?
I'm saying that.
Back then, they did not take this religion shit that people would convert willingly, right? It wasn't that big of a deal. So
that ain't
cool. No. What you talking about, bro? Who was converting willingly? Them common folk wasn't. Them common folk weren't going, bro. You got
all right, bro.
Who you talking about? The royalty?
Bro, if I'm talking about slave trading, we already agreed that I'm not talking about common folk, right? So we're talking about the king.
No, so the king, all kings wasn't converting willingly either, bro.
I'm talking about the traders, whoever's involved in the trade, bro. Like, I don't want to, because when I make a point, I don't want to be, well, the everyday man didn't do that. Like, I want to be specific so you know what I'm talking about so we don't got to jump around.
So you're talking about the Christians and Jews.
The actual trade, whoever's engaged, the people that are powerful enough, the kings, whoever's powerful enough to be involved in the actual trade. I ain't talking about niggas that ain't in the trade. I'm talking about the people
because in this book, I can actually show you who the traders were.
Before we get there, I'm just saying we know that people converted, right? Just to be in the business, right? They didn't. So it's not like they converted and then the business of slave trade was pushed upon them. They converted so they can get in. I'll trade with you, bro, but you need to first convert.
That'll keep them from being slaves.
But that was trade, period, though. That wasn't just trading slaves, bro.
You know what? CK just made a great point in the chat.
About trading slaves, like, it could be other stuff. Like, why are we talking? I'm talking about specifically.
But you saying it like they converted specifically to trade slaves.
I'm saying that their conversion is not paramount to them. It's not just because they converted didn't mean that the conversion came with the. I'm saying that they were willing participators. Converting was just a natural progress of being involved with the slave trade is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's not like they converted. It was like, okay, by the way, you're a Muslim now? Guess what, bro? Now that you're a Muslim, I'm sorry to tell you, you got to be involved in the slave trade. It didn't work like that. They knew what was up. They converted to be down. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Some of them.
I can agree that some of them did it for their benefit, but I wouldn't say like how you saying. I don't know about that, man.
Y'all gave me some.
This was tradition, man.
You're gonna have to take some because others was it was a get down or lay down situation.
Yeah, basically, I would take it was a get down or lay down situation. That is so true, and that's why I think some of y'all, I think a lot of y'all probably have read it, but I think y'all need to go back and reread Chancellor Williams' Destruction of a Black Civilization and read that section specifically on like guns and religion.
Who was the get down and lay down coming from?
It was coming from the Muslims.
See, right. See, and let me tell you, those Muslims were black. In West Africa,
thought they were Arabs.
Yeah, bro, but he put the gun in their hand to come back. Like,
they were black caliphs and goddamn jihads of goddamn West Africans doing that shit to each other.
They were converts, man.
They were Arabs.
That they were black Africans.
But they were converts. It wasn't like they was just like, oh, we was waiting to give these niggas the blues. They went and got that whole.
They Arabs, all right, man, y'all tripping.
Them was Arabs.
They wasn't not Arabs.
Some of them was Arabs, some of them was blacks.
Converts,
they had
right?
their own caliphate.
Forceful conversion. Okay, let me read it. I got it right here. Let me read it.
Some, bro. Hey, I got a dip though. I'm gonna listen on the live stream, Chef. I got a dip, yo. But I'm gonna listen.
All right, folks.
Let me read it real quick. So, the conquest of the blacks by religion. Other invaders found penetration easy under the banners of religion. Full advantage was taken of the fact that Africans are a very quote-unquote religious people. First came the crescent flag of the prophet. The Islamic advance was three-pronged. Proselytizing missions, claiming one brotherhood, widespread intermarriages, and concubinage with African women due to the Muslim system of polygamy, and forceful conversions at sword point. The cross of Jesus Christ followed the Muslim crescent. The cloak of Christianity was a most convenient hiding place for those who had other designs. Hence, the drive to convert. Conversion here meant far more than conversion to Christianity. As in the case of Islam, it meant changing to the white man's image, his ideas and value system. The real object of worship turned out to be neither Jesus Christ nor his father, God, but Western man and Western civilization. Christian brotherhood, well, yes, in principle, or to be practical, you blacks can have all the Christian brotherhood you desire among yourselves. So right there, so basically, if you understand what he was saying, when Islam came in, they came in and beat up the Africans. And the sultans of the Islamic armies were so smart that they would send in these Christians after they done killed off all the fighting men and took all the women, and all you have is old men and young children. Now they finna send in the Christians to proselytize you.
Well, let me say this. Ashkia and them was not Arabs. They were definitely black West Africans, and they put the smash down on everything that they came across and converted those people by the sword. They wasn't Arabs. So
the first few skills, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we are making it that the Arabs did all of this shit in West Africa, you got to realize that those West Africans created Muslim empires. So they were doing that shit. They had complete
saying
power
that, bro.
over.
They weren't no Muslim empires.
What?
Timbuktu was Islam. Well, half of Timbuktu was Islamic. Well, Timbuktu had an Islamic court and a traditional court, but the royalty usually was Sufi Islamic.
Listen, y'all didn't change history. Y'all saying that Mali and Songhai wasn't Muslim.
I will say they were nominally Muslim.
What that mean?
They were Muslim by name. They didn't practice. They didn't follow any of Sharia.
Yeah, they had African traditions. They still had in place, instead
was
of some
mixing.
of those other traditions. Yeah,
it's called Sufi Islam, but still Islamic.
No, that ain't what I'm talking. Nope, that ain't what I'm talking about.
Timbuktu had two courts.
They had whole Quranic schools. They had goddamn
Who was they?
The Mali Empire. Like, what didn't they have that will make y'all say that they was only Muslim by name?
Because it wasn't just only Muslim. They had African traditions that they were still using and had been a part of for thousands of years at that time.
So because they wasn't completely Arab, because they wasn't completely Arabized, they wasn't Muslim.
No, because they wasn't following Islamic law.
They wasn't calling themselves completely Arab.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm lost.
They were
No.
West Africa primarily was Islamic. Sufi Islamic. I get what y'all saying that they mixed in the traditions, but they were still Islamic at the end of the day. If you
No, I
read
ain't talking about Sufi.
Hunwick's,
You keep
if you
saying that.
read John Hunwick's work, he says Arabic was the language of literacy in West Africa. So
Arabic was the script,
I mean, like, why
not the
are
language.
you trying to dismiss that part of African history? Arabic brought
They said that they was only
literacy.
half Muslim.
Arabic, the Islamic faith brought literacy to West Africa. Why are y'all trying to dismiss that?
Hold on. There was writing in West Africa before Muslims. You are familiar with what's the name of that script?
Insipidity.
Insipidity.
Yeah, it's Insipidity. It's another one. What's the Khan one?
Terracotta.
Yeah. God damn, I can't think. But yeah, it was scripts in West Africa before Islam came, bro. They ain't give that, and we didn't, and because we didn't have literacy, we didn't have or widespread literacy. It wasn't a need for that. We had griots, we had oral tradition. We didn't have a need for widespread literacy.
But we had when our ancestors was converted to Islam by the Berbers.
Say it again.
We had literacy when our ancestors was converted to Islam by the Berbers. I mean,
what about it?
They were the ones who founded Timbuktu.
Yeah,
so, I mean, like,
know that. I'm familiar with it. What about it?
I mean, but why y'all dismissing that like our ancestors was Islamic primarily?
Nobody's dismissing that, bro.
Y'all making it seem like the Arabs did that. The Arabs were the ones that was enslaved.
I don't come from no royalty. You understand? So most of those common folk was not Islamic. A lot of them common folk will kill you if you try to push that Islam shit on them.
We've been trying to get rid of slavery that happened in Africa before any of these Europeans or Arabs came to Africa. We can't quite get there.
Yeah, we're talking about an intercontinental African slave trade, and it wasn't intercontinental. That's what we're telling. At least from what I understand, I hadn't seen no intercontinental African slave trade. I seen tribes having wars, and if a tribe beat another tribe and they happen to capture some people, then hey, them people happen to become slaves, and hey, then some of them slaves actually married and became kings and married up and shit. So I mean, this is what I've seen and read and learned about African slavery and African history. I mean, I could be wrong, but hey.
They saying that they was some half Muslims.
So do y'all know about Long Juju, or we ain't going there?
No, go ahead. Speak on it.
All right. Well, I'm on my phone. Chef, why don't you just Google it real quick, Long Juju, and then that'll kind of give you the base.
Long Juju.
Oh God.
How you spell that?
LONGJUJU. I don't know if I can see it on my screen. Like I said, I'm just on my phone.
What I'm looking at. Okay. Our Kukawa Long Juju slave route is a 6-foot gully that takes people to the temple judgment back in the day. Is that right?
Yeah, if it's just on Wikipedia, keep reading.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna click the wiki link. The Abeni Akapi was an oracle of the Oru Confederacy of what is now southeastern Nigeria. It was known among the British as the Long Juju. Abeni
ukapi was used to settle cases, particularly those of murder, witchcraft, poisoning, and family disputes. The oracle was prominent throughout the Niger Delta. The losing party of a case was traditionally destroyed by the oracle. But
okay,
the
time out real quick. I'm sorry, but what they're describing is what these Africans had as a tradition. This wasn't something that the British enforced or helped them create.
Yeah. I'm getting to it. I see it. I'm getting to it. Let me read.
Okay. I'm just checking. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming up to it. I see what you're saying. Okay. All right, but the priests of the Abeni Ukapi developed a preference in selling the losing parties into slavery instead. As the system continued, it was alleged that the priests of the Abeni Ukapi falsified some of the verdicts of the oracle in order to procure victims to be sold into slavery. Hundreds of the people visited Abeni Ukapi, and many did not return. Their communities usually believed that the oracle had devoured anybody that visited it. That's crazy. That is crazy.
And so, I mean, like, I get it, Google's not like a book, you know what I'm saying? But like, you can look in books that talk about Nigeria and their archaeology and what they're talking about. It all goes hand in hand, you know what I'm
saying? Now that's African religion. Now, hold on. Now that's African religion. Now that
that's
ain't
right. That's right.
That's the Africans in their religion doing this fuck shit to us.
Right. So that's part of the human experience, is these developments between people's relationships and good and bad, your Iwa Burugu, your Iwa Pele, all these different, relationships, how you deal with people. Which is why they had the Ekpe societies to determine right and wrong, right? These are our early African police groups, you could say. I mean, just to use words, you know what I'm saying? Like it was definitely different, but this, it's their law, this is justice in the court systems, this is stuff that they had developed for thousands of years.
That is still a whole separate concept than what was being discussed.
Exactly.
I'm lost. Like, we're showing how whichever way y'all contended against African slavery, we didn't show cases that prove y'all wrong.
First, it go from the African slave trade to a slave economy to just African slavery. That's why I said the shit too all over the place.
No, when we brought up slave economies, when we mentioned Africans that, economy was based off of slavery, y'all said
you mentioned one group.
The Arrow Confederacy was based on a slave economy. Like, that's what the homie was.
Yeah, that's what the homie was. I agree.
Similar, yeah.
So you agree that it was slave economies?
Not that homie, but Weeder. But yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, so we in agreement.
Yeah, I never said that you won't find one group. And Unc said the same shit. Like, you pointing out one group. You was talking in a very general sense. Now you talking different.
No, we didn't show several.
No, this is the second one. This is
that's what several mean. It means more than one.
Okay, yeah, you got two.
That's a couple. That's what that is.
Okay, so what about the Ashanti? They did the same thing.
They had a slave economy. Their economy was built on slavery.
They raided other.
I know. But was their economy built off that though? Can you show that their economy was built off that?
You don't think that's an economy?
Wait.
I don't think at all, bro.
What's an economy not built off of slavery? Like, what does that actually look like? Like, what are we saying that is in history?
A nation that is trading slaves but doesn't have to sustain their nation.
So we don't have any evidence of that.
We don't have any evidence of what?
That people didn't trade slaves for any economic reason.
There is actually
evidence. That's not what I said. To sustain their nation, of course, it's going to be for economic reasons most of the time. Or what are you trading? I mean, what are you trading for? That's trade.
What do you mean? Like, we've been going over what they traded.
Hey, Sabio, hit him with that Turkish shit again.
Hit him with that Turkish shit. They don't want to be in West Africa. Get them out of here.
But see, y'all understand they was in West Africa. Do y'all not know that?
Hit him with that Turkish shit again.
Y'all not know they control West Africa? Why, can I show a little quick 3-minute video, Chef?
Who control West Africa?
Turks, hold up.
Hey, go ahead, Sabio. Hit him with that Turkish.
Let me show this 3-minute video real quick. Hold up.
What time?
So why you set that up? Just know the majority of these tribes, these nations, were not built off of slavery.
Not solely built off slavery.
How can you prove that?
Because before the slave trade, they was already nations. It was already kingdoms. It was already empires.
That's too big. That's 19 minutes.
So that shit was already established. Go ahead, Sabio. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Oops, my bad. I'm trying to mute that shit, but
So Sabio, was these Ottoman Turks Supermen? Because it seems like they've been everywhere, man. I swear.
I'm gonna tell you. No, I'm gonna tell you what they were. All right. So here go one. I'm gonna tell you what it was. They happened to come into the world and see what people don't understand is that they took over the center of intercontinental trade when they took over Istanbul. That's what people have to understand. They became the world. So Constantinople was the heart of Christianity, the seat of Christianity for 1,000 years, and everything went through Rome. Everything went through there. So when they got control of it, what happened? That's why I just had Sheffer read that out of that book, that monetary history of the Ottoman Empire. What did it say? When they took control of Constantinople, they took control of intercontinental trade at the dawn of capitalism. All right, now this 3-minute video, look at this map. I just want y'all to pay attention to this map. Let me know if y'all can hear it. Hold up, let me go back and share my voice. This little 3-minute video 4-minute video should explain a lot. And show y'all they rank.
You gotta give a what's called, huh? You don't want to get your what's called flag, huh? Your video. Then you gotta give a what's that shit called to check?
Disclaimer.
Yeah, don't you gotta give a disclaimer?
No, not on this. For educational purposes.
It's ain't my channel, so they want to roll with it.
I was just trying to remember that shit.
Yeah, it's for educational purposes. When you using stuff for educational purposes, you can say it. So this is for educational purposes only. This is for educational purposes only. But I showed it earlier. They had no problem. Yeah, this is the 3-minute one.
At the turn of the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire was exceptionally powerful. It had expanded deep into southeastern Europe, dominated the eastern Mediterranean, and had tremendous influence in the Indian Ocean. But one of the questions that isn't asked too often about the Ottoman Empire is, why, after the discovery of the Americas, did the Ottomans make no attempt to colonize it? There are ultimately several reasons for this, and the first is simple: geography. Whilst the Ottomans dominated in their local neighbourhood, breaking free of the Mediterranean wasn't so easy. The reason was that they had to go through waters controlled by the Aragonese, Castilian and Portuguese crowns, who wouldn't have been too happy at the idea of a Muslim power competing with them in the New World. The Ottomans did have access to the Indian Ocean too, and so could easily have just gone around Africa, right? Well, yes, but the journey would have been considerably longer, and why do that when you could just sail east and trade with Asia, which brings us to another reason. The Ottomans didn't need to sail across the Atlantic. Remember that the European powers sailed west in order to avoid trading with and through the Ottoman Empire, thereby enriching it. The Ottomans could simply trade with whomever they wanted, because they sat at the crossroads of 3 continents. Furthermore, the value of the New World wasn't really known at this point. Perhaps then the most that the Ottomans could have gained would have been to deny places like Spain or Portugal colonies in the first place. The thing is, the Ottomans had problems much closer to home. They had to contend with the Habsburg monarchy to the north, as well as enemies to the south and the east, such as the Safavid Empire. The idea was floated that the Ottomans could conquer all the way to Morocco and get themselves an Atlantic coast. From here they would capture some of the west coast of Africa before moving across the Atlantic and depriving the Europeans of future territories. The discovery and later colonization of the Americas presented a problem for the Ottomans. They had recently sought to emulate China and become a strictly law-based hierarchical empire whose subjects would owe loyalty to an emperor. The problem now was that places like Spain and Portugal had revolutionized what the world was. These states were proving that sheer tenacity and a disregard for established knowledge had its benefits too. In fact, fear of failing to capitalize on this new style of thinking was present at the Ottoman court, but sultans like Suleiman the Magnificent were frankly completely uninterested. To him and his successors, these new developments weren't seen as threatening the Ottoman position. To be fair, the Mediterranean had always been one of the most important trade routes in world history. The fact that this would stop being the case because of these new discoveries wasn't exactly obvious at the time. To summarise, the Ottoman Empire understood that the discovery of the New World was a big deal, but didn't really see how it affected them. Whilst the idea of the Ottomans taking some of the New World was floated, they ultimately had their own problems. These problems were the Safavids, the Arabians, the Habsburgs, and now the Portuguese in the Indian Ocean. The sultans of the empire, even the great ones like Suleiman, did not see how these lands could endanger their position. And honestly, how were they to know that the discovery of the New World would shift the centre of power to the west? I hope you enjoyed.
Alright. So that's actually, and that wasn't even a video. That I was just actually showing that for the map, just so that y'all see how far they went, and that they actually could have went to America. They just didn't see the expedience and the reasons to go to America. And then when they failed to extend their empire to America, what happened? Their empire failed. That's why they just now centralized it, Anatolia or Turkey. I know that was a little cartoon, and that ain't the one I wanted to show. I actually put up the wrong one. I wanted to show the one with the 2 men talking, because he was actually talking about something that was just recent. Can I show that one, Chef? Go ahead. It's the real one right here. This is 2 men. And this is a professor of history. He's speaking on the Ottoman Empire.
Going to drill down even a little more on this. Here's what we want to do. We're here at the map, right? And I've asked our producer, Joe Ricci, to join us. Now, Joe has a PhD in history. So what we're trying to do, Joe, is visualize, right? Yes. For our audience, for ourselves who aren't experts on this, what Erdogan's vision is. Because people are saying that Recep Erdogan wants to essentially recreate the Ottoman Empire. Yeah. What does that mean? Can you show us? Exactly. Let's take a look at the Ottoman Empire as it expanded over the centuries. You're going to see it starting in 1300, and watch how it ends up in the year about 1700. Massive. So you see it covers here all of North Africa, the Middle East, Syria, Iraq,
Turkey, Libya, where they're getting involved now, and all
Africa for the African.
this is the Ottoman Empire at its height. So it's important to understand the context of what Erdogan's working in, what his internal audience is thinking of when they think about their past.
Yeah.
Just a few hundred years ago, they were involved in all these countries. Why shouldn't they be now?
And if there's a similarity about all these countries, is what? All particular religion.
In this instance, where they're expanding to now, Syria, Iraq, all Islamic. So just to give you a little bit of background, about 1,000 years ago, the Turks came to this region. They converted to Islam, and the first thing they did was to send all of their forces to, at the time, Constantinople, renamed Istanbul. In 1453, major important date, they took Constantinople, the heart of the old Roman and Byzantine Empire. That gave them the sense that they are the new Caesars. They're the new emperors. What they do after that, they expand into the Balkans. They take Bulgaria, Serbia, Greece. They expand against the Persians. They take Iraq. Against the Egyptian Mamluks, who are also Turks, take Syria, Egypt, Libya, have all of this. And for centuries, they fight against the Western Europeans. This all changes. Colonial period, Western European nations expand slowly from 1700 to World War I. Ottoman Empire shrinks in size.
And by World War I, it's literally diminished.
By World War I, it's just basically what we see of Turkey today. Just a little rump in Europe and the big part of what we call Asia Minor or Anatolia. It doesn't include Syria, it doesn't include Iraq anymore, Libya no more. Just Turkey, where the Turks live. They don't have an empire anymore. They may want that back.
So let's bring that now to present day.
Present day.
For our
it's almost
comprehension's sake.
Sure.
He's looking at, as we're reporting, he's looking at Syria. He's looking at Libya. He's looking at a lot of these surrounding countries in what? We say create a new Mesopotamia. Sure. But essentially what he wants is to reach out across his borders.
Sure. You might want to say he's recreating the Ottoman Empire, but maybe he's just creating a buffer zone. Look, we've got Syria, Iraq, Libya, places the Turks were before, and they want to go back and secure their border region. They haven't been in these areas for a while. They're very dangerous, and they're basically empty.
By the way, this is interesting as well. We've just been given a note that says, and we talked
Check
about this a
out.
while ago, and I think you're going to find this interesting, that Turkish President Erdogan and his counterpart Vladimir Putin have just attended a working lunch where the two have agreed. Let me read further here. Have agreed in a phone call to intensify talks on Syria's Idlib region to reduce the tensions and implement the ceasefire. Again,
big news.
It's interesting, but the problem is these conversations have been taking place all along, as we've been reporting.
Exactly.
In the end, Joe, when we look at this map, do you think his real intention is just, I feel small, I want to be big?
It's not maybe so grandiose, but yeah, he does want to be larger, at least protect his border regions.
That's interesting. Yeah. Good stuff. Thanks so much.
So right there, that lets y'all know how much they actually control. There was a huge empire for a very long time. And they controlled everything. Slave trades, gold, spice. They controlled all of that. For 622 years. So if we don't talk about that part of history, what are we doing to our ancestors and ourselves? For real, we have to ask ourselves that question.
Talk to these niggas.
Good information, though.
And that's just a little bit of my information. I've been studying this shit for the last year and a half, and they controlled all that shit. So that shit Garfield was talking about with the Hanseatic League, all that shit. Before the Hanseatic League, there was the Throwback company, and they were trading slaves in the 11th century. And you also had the small merchant venturers out of it's one of those little islands. Damn, I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but they also was trading slaves, and this was before the transatlantic slave trade began. They were already Africa get enslaved? The Ottoman Empire.
So it was the Turks.
You can say that.
They responsible for all this shit that we talking about.
I didn't blame the goddamn Africans.
You blame the fucking
say that.
Africans.
You can say that. Why? Because why? Had they not taken control of Rome, then see, this is the question you have to ask yourself now. Had Rome not had the center of Christianity not failed to the Ottomans in 1453, would the things have taken place?
Yep.
Africans.
You can say that about the Moors too.
You said what happened in 1453?
If Constantinople, the center of Christianity, Rome, not the Holy Roman Empire, Rome. You see
the Western Roman Empire.
Yes. Had that not failed,
the Eastern Roman Empire, right?
Yes, had that not failed to the Ottomans in 1453,
and turned into Istanbul.
Turned to Istanbul, dude, with the things that have transpired afterwards. You know when the Catholics had kicked the Spanish, the Moors and the Jews out of Spain, the Christians and the Jews and the Moors out of Spain in 1492. These are questions that we have to ask. And see, this is another thing a lot of people don't realize. When they got kicked, when the Moors and the Christians and the Jews got kicked out of Spain in 1492, Bayezid II, the Ottoman Sultan, who was actually in power at that time, he sent ships over to Spain to bring the Christians and Jews over there, and he gave a decree to all the Muslims that said if they were treated any different than Muslims, the Muslims will be killed.
I thought the Ottomans were Muslim.
They were. So he gave a decree to his people, said if you treat the Christians and Jews any different than you treat any other Muslim, you will be killed. So he allowed them to practice their religion and all that. So they were the slave traders and the brokers and all that. They were the ones and the middlemen and the money men and all that.
The Ottomans.
No, the Jews.
The Turkish OG.
The Jews. See, they were you got Turkish Jews.
Turkish Kush.
I'm serious. You have Turkish Jews. You have Ottoman Jews. You have all different. You have Turkish Christians. You have all types of stuff in the Ottoman Empire, because that was one of the policies of the Ottoman Empire. One of their policies was accommodation, assimilation, accommodation, toleration. They tolerated religions. So they allowed people to go around there making up stories about their God. They wanted that. It made people more loyal to the economy.
What's going on?
Brother Sabio. Brother Sabio.
Yo.
Man, I think to a certain degree, man, you giving these Ottoman Turks a little too much credit, like they Superman or something, brother.
I'm actually not.
Like, no, I'm just playing with you, brother. I'm just playing.
I know you are, and that's because you haven't heard of them. If you start studying if you start studying them like I've studied them, you will see most of the things that I'm saying actually is true. I'm not making none of this up. It's not me. This is the study.
It's like I just find it funny. You always refer back to the Ottomans and stuff.
And because I'm realizing how influential and how powerful they actually were. They controlled the world for 622 years. Name me, America ain't even been around for 622 years, bro. Come on, think about that. 622 years, come on. Come on, be serious. Be serious right now, Adrian.
I mean, I'm being serious. I'm being serious, but like the thing is, I just think you give them a little bit like.
But you have to. You cannot minimize them. If you minimize them, they ran the world for 622 years, meaning they controlled the policies and all that of just about every nation, except for what? Because there was no seed of Christianity after that. Where was the Christians? In the Ottoman Empire and scattered abroad. They were looking for land. This is what you're missing. Catholics kicked them out.
Kicked out who?
The Christians.
Catholics kicked out the
they
Christians.
didn't kick out the Christians.
They kicked out
I
the
thought
Christians.
Catholics were Christians.
No, they
kicked
weren't.
out the Muslim. They kicked out
the Christians and the Jews
Catholics
from Spain.
No, the Jews
Catholics
of
are Christians.
Spain, they actually, some of them, I'm being as academically sound as possible. There were some, when the Spanish and the Portuguese had kicked the Moors out, they had told the European Jews of that area, you either give us your gold or you go into the Inquisition. And they had the Jews in Spain and Portugal give them gold so the slave trade could start.
Now I have to pull up another source, right? Do I have to pull up another source?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you and them Turks, y'all on the clock now.
Okay, so in 1492.
You did a little bit too much with this turkey.
All right, in 14, let me get it. Give me 1 second.
I think you didn't overcook that turkey.
Oh, man.
Hold on.
That motherfucker dry.
Hold on. Where is it? Oh, you know what?
You
know what? Here it is.
Turkey
Actually, I'm tripping. I went to the wrong place. It's right here. Where is it? Where is it? Launching the Portuguese slave trade. All righty then. All righty then. All right, now this. Can y'all see my screen?
African laborers for a new empire, Iberia, slavery, and the Atlantic world.
All right, now. Okay, I'm going to get right here. I'm going to read a couple of things. Actually, I'm going to get right to where I was just talking about because somewhere people don't think I'm right. All right, Portuguese mariners. Now, this is in 1430. All right, now this is a Portuguese group going beyond the coast.
Remember, you said they kicked the Christians out.
I want you. Oh, that's what you're looking for? Okay.
Yeah, you said. Hold on. Say
this
it
the source? All right. Let me see if this is the source that got it.
You said the Catholics kicked the Christians out.
1453. Yeah. Hold on. Here. Yo.
Relax. Hold on. Relax. We're gonna let you get to it. But you said the Catholics kicked the Christians out.
Yeah,
kick the Christians out of where?
Catholics are Christians.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They fall under the same. They fall under the same thing, brother.
What are they, Muslim?
Catholics are Catholics. Do Catholics believe it? Do Catholics worship as Jesus as the Savior?
When they use Catholic,
no, they don't.
Yes,
no, they don't.
What
No, they don't.
I'm done. All right, y'all be quiet. Let's say the old team, y'all. It's ADO time.
Have y'all ever been to a Catholic church? I have.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I've been to a Catholic church.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Mary.
What they believe that's different from
Mary. They worship Mary.
They believe that Mary was supernatural and they worship they do idolatry.
Jesus is not the Savior.
What?
Oh my.
Jesus is not the Savior.
Oh my.
And I was with you. But now you just threw me.
If Jesus is the Savior, is the Savior, I have to show me that.
No, we getting off topic. You right, Savior, okay?
Nah. I want to see that because from what I've been hearing about the Catholics all my life, Jesus ain't
Savior. Pope Martin V has said to Spain and Portugal, you take the east of the world and you take the west.
Is this it right here?
You two good Catholic nations, stop fighting amongst yourselves. You are both authorized to reduce to servitude all infidel people. War is declared on the 9.
Is that what I'm looking for?
But Christians fall under Catholics though, man. They kicked out the Islamic. They kicked out the Moors. But if you saying they kicked out the Christians, man, you wrong, brother.
The Pope a Muslim, the savior.
Nah, he wasn't. The Pope was a Catholic. And that's why that's why they made that's why they made papal bulls against the Christians. And that's why the Reformations were made. Why do you think the Reformations were made against the Catholic Church?
Sabio, I'm not saying.
Hey, you just said Catholic Church. What does a church denote?
Sabio, not saying you wrong about your Turkish stuff. We're saying that Catholics are Christians. I think you're a little mixed up right there.
I mean, y'all can say that if y'all want, but Marcus Garvey, he wasn't a Christian. He was a Catholic.
Oh my God!
He converted to Catholicism.
Yeah, Catholic Christian. Yeah.
He didn't call no. See, they don't call themselves Catholic Christian. They don't call themselves Catholic Christian.
What does Catholic mean, yo?
I forgot. I actually forgot. I forgot.
Baptists don't call themselves Baptist Christians.
It has something to do with the Orthodox belief in.
But they definitely Christians.
In the religion or something like that.
It just
I can't exactly remember.
It's it means
universal. I need whatever that is you on, bro.
That's
I'm out here in Cali too. You smoke, what kind of OG is that?
By the late 15th century, is this it? North African. They talking about the Corsairs.
Yeah, Catholic means universal. It means they was the
universal Orthodox.
Mm-hmm. That's the Christianity, yo. You can't get more Christian than Catholic. That's where it all come from, basically. So you just clear that part up.
Yeah.
What? They all come from Judaism?
What?
Oh my.
Look, get back to the Turkish delight.
They all come from Judaism. You're right.
Huh?
They're all Judaists. They're all Judaistic religion.
You've been around Garfield too long. No, it's not. Look, I'm listening to Garfield. That shit don't even make sense. So
they're all not Abrahamic faith.
I don't even know about no Abraham. Listen, you said that the Catholics wasn't Christian. That's the only thing I disagree with you about.
Okay.
Now go ahead and keep teaching.
For the modern observer, hold up. I need to go to something else because that ain't it. I know that's what I was looking for, but I don't know if that's exactly the right one. Is this it, Pope Nicholas? And
the
fifth? Pope Nicholas V
was a Christian. Trust me.
Let's see.
When Pope Martin V said you were authorized to
with Portugal's expansion into Western Africa in the 15th century. What am I looking for? I'm looking for them being kicked out.
What you were saying, Wally?
Okay. Here it is. 15th century. Here it is. I found it. I knew I would. Right there.
Go ahead, Wally. What was you saying?
No, I'm letting him finish, and then I'll say what I'm saying.
No, go ahead. Stop.
Hold up.
See, stop. Go ahead, Wally.
Nah, that's talking about who was enslavable or not.
Okay, but listen, Savio, if you read page 3 on Capitalism and Slavery by Eric Williams, the Pope says in Spain and Portugal, you are both authorized to reduce the servitude all infidel people.
Of all infidels people, we know. I'm already knowing about that. I got that. I think I got that right here.
But he was. Go ahead, Wally.
See.
It just meant if you didn't believe in Jesus, you were infidel.
Right there. Here it is right here.
What are you talking about, Xavier?
What he's just talking about.
Yeah, but he was talking.
I'm saying I have all that.
So are the Catholics Christians or not, Xavier?
If y'all want to call them Christians, I say no.
You familiar with the Knights Templar?
Yep. A little bit,
No,
not
they was
deeply
Catholic.
familiar with them.
Yeah, they was Catholic. You know, their symbol,
The
the Christian
cross.
cross.
So,
He
It's a
said
red
so.
cross.
He said so.
The Templar, the
That
Knight
mean?
Templars had a red cross for part of their
What that
symbol across
mean?
their chest.
what that mean exactly?
The
That don't
Roman
mean
Catholic
nothing.
Church mean Christian.
Right. But they
So
also had a.
there you go.
They also have basilicas.
Right.
You
What's a
moving the
basilica?
And they
goalpost.
also have cathedrals.
You moving the
What are
All
they?
goalpost.
that is
No, I'm
is
not. I'm
They
just saying it's all.
churches.
I'm just saying it's the same shit.
Churches, yeah.
all right. I'm about to drop. When I pull this up, Chef, I'm about to drop it in the back.
Y'all stupid. If y'all want them to be Christians, they can be Christian.
They Christians.
We don't have no control over
Okay. It's cool. I can see that.
Roman Catholicism from
That's
Britannica.
Catholicism.
Yeah, Catholicism. Just pull it up. Pull it up and you'll see. You'll see what I'm
Y'all
talking about.
pull it up.
it. It says Roman Catholicism, Christian church that has
Bingo.
been decisive spiritual force in the history of the Western civilization.
Oh, okay.
The Knights
Yeah.
Templar used to say, "We
All right,
trying to
now read about who they. Now read about Jesus and how they look at Jesus.
It don't matter. They Christian.
Nah,
They
that's the key right there. How do they look at Jesus?
But it
Just
don't
because
stop
they
them
worship
from
the
being.
Can
Bible,
y'all pull that out?
Different
Can y'all
sects and
please?
divisions
Can
look
y'all
at
please do that?
Jesus
Can y'all
in
please
different
do that?
ways. So it
Because
really
I
don't
because I concede I'm wrong. Okay, but can y'all concede that? Can y'all do that?
just
While
because
I
they
find
worship
this, because
Mary
I'm
and
still
speak
looking for
about
that
their being,
exact part, and I know I remember reading. I just can't remember.
Yo,
Bro, I
Jesus
remember
is
reading.
still a savior in Catholicism too.
Read it.
I don't
Show
have to
it.
read that. I know
No,
it.
I don't want to. Not read it. Source up
Sabio.
and shut up.
That don't make
I don't want
sense.
to. No, because I don't
Sabio.
remember it. I know Mexican friends who don't
No,
look at them like
maybe
that.
you don't know nothing about
First
Catholicism.
famous
Can
voyage,
you admit that?
1492, the Spanish crown.
Can you admit that you know more about Turkey than you do about Christianity?
Possibly.
Yeah, that is a fact.
Sabio. When the Knights Templar used to fight the Muslims during the Crusade, they used to say, "We go save Jerusalem for Christendom against the Muslims."
Mm-hmm.
They said that all the time.
Yeah, but that's because they was fighting for who? The Christian Empire. They was fighting for Rome.
The Knights Templar was Christian.
And what was the Roman
exactly.
Church?
So of course they gonna fight for Jesus, dude. Of course
Roman
they not
Church.
gonna fight for Allah.
So
you mean?
what was the Roman Church? JBO?
Which one? You got the Holy Roman Church over there, which
That's
is Catholic.
Catholic.
And then you have the Christian Roman Church, the one that fell in Constantinople.
But the Catholic,
the one that became then you have the Christian Church, the one that fell in 1453. So you had two.
No, you just made that up.
No, I did not. In 1453, the seat of Christianity fell. Constantinople. I just showed y'all that. That's what
they
the seat of
listen.
That was the seat of Christianity. Where the Roman Church, where the Catholic Church was, is where the seat of Catholicism was. This is what y'all don't understand.
Constantinople, listen, calm down. Constantinople was Rome too. They were Romans.
We understand this, but it was we understand this totally. But it was one was Catholic and one was Christian.
Listen,
one was Catholic and one was Christian.
Yo, it's not listening. This guy
is like saying one was Baptist and one was Christian.
One was Catholic and one was Christian.
The Knights Templar would still call themselves Christian if you went back.
Bro, are you not listening? Or do you not understand that was the schism?
What?
That was the split. That was why the Reformations and all that happened.
It happened why?
Because the Catholic Church was trying to put impositions on the Christian churches, on Martin Luther and John Calvin and all them.
Martin Luther was a Catholic.
Martin Luther was protesting against the Catholic Church.
Why do you think they split? And I'm saying, why do you think he came over and made what is Lutherans now? Are they Catholics?
That's because the Catholic Church was robbing people by using
Are
purgatory.
y'all not
What are you talking
listening?
about?
Are y'all not listening?
Dude, I just came out of a college class on this where we talked about.
Bro,
Martin
are y'all
Luther.
not
He
listening?
protested against
You
the
had an
Catholic
Eastern
Church.
Orthodox Catholic Church, and this is what y'all are not understanding.
Oh,
and you say that again? They had an Eastern what?
It was
Orthodox what?
Catholic.
Boy, you is crazy as hell. You is crazy as hell.
Yeah, you gotta let that one go, Samuel.
Okay.
No, say what you just said again.
Okay, watch this.
No, say what you just said again.
Hold up, I'm gonna just go pull it.
Listen to yourself.
Orthodox Church.
You said the Eastern Orthodox Catholic Church.
I've never heard of Orthodox.
Who else had churches?
Say it with your chest. You just called them Catholic. The Eastern Church. That's the church in Constantinople. You are crazy as hell right now.
I just showed y'all the Wikipedia.
Did I say Eastern?
Yeah.
Or did I meant to say Western?
You said Eastern.
But that ain't the point, though. It's still a Catholic church, aka a Christian church. Well, we ain't even gotta say
hold up.
Church denotes Christianity.
Because I'm looking at it now.
Yo, think the Catholic.
You just looked at it when we just pulled up the source.
Nah, so I meant the Western one. My bad. Because this is in Turkey.
The same answer though.
So I actually meant Western. The one that was in. No, not the one that was in Rome.
Russian.
That's the Western Church. That's the seat of the Western. What are you talking about?
So not the one in Constantinople. I'm not looking for
No,
that.
I said the West. The West is Rome. East is in Turkey.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Okay.
So that's the one I was actually talking about. And this the one that the Christians was waiting on to send ships in 1453. But they got there a couple days late. And it was too late because Constantinople had already failed. You see, it's Catholic, not Christian.
Catholic and Christian is the same thing, basically.
Bruh.
Catholicism is more ritualistic. They
worship. Basically, it is the same thing.
I'm trying to figure out what is he fighting.
I'm not fighting anything.
You trying to
I'm just
say
trying
that
to.
Christianity and Catholicism is different.
They are.
How? That don't make sense, Sadie.
Read it. Read it.
Look, we're not doing Wikipedia. We not like. Can we ban Wikipedia?
Read
now?
it. Y'all use it. I don't use Wikipedia, but y'all use it.
Catholicism is more ritualistic, man. Christian.
The first time I'd heard this one. And he said he been to a Catholic church and they was Muslim.
No, I didn't. They was Muslim. I said I said it was boring.
Oh, that
and
don't
they
mean
didn't, and they didn't worship no Jesus.
I mean, they ain't
I don't
Christians.
ever remember them worshiping Jesus through the whole service.
Jesus is God.
They definitely link themselves to Jesus.
I don't remember a prayer to Jesus. One of them crosses to Jesus. That was said to Mary.
You ain't been
Hail Mary, full of grace, mother be thy name. Blessed
you ain't
be
never been no damn Catholic.
They do that in Catholicism, bro.
You ain't never been no Catholic.
Jesus.
Bro.
There was nothing to Jesus. There was nothing to Jesus. So that's why I say it's not Christian, because Christian is focused on Jesus.
when people say praise God, they mean to praise Jesus too.
No, they
and
mean to
Holy
praise Yahweh.
Yahweh. Don't no Christians
Yes.
believe in no damn Yahweh.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. You just made that
They
up.
believe in God. And they don't think Jesus is God. They believe Jesus is Jesus. And I talk to them on a daily. They believe
It's
Jesus
different.
is the Son of
It's
God.
different Christians though. That's another schism. It's different Christians though. So some of them believe like that. Some of them don't. Some of them think Jesus is God. Some of them don't. It's just different. We can't be over general.
Man,
The
this
Catholics
guy.
believe in the Trinity too, man.
They the ones who made that shit up.
That Trinity includes Jesus, correct?
He's the baby.
Right.
Oh, okay.
He minimized. I understand where he's coming from. He minimized, but he's still a factor. But yeah, they do the Hail Marys and shit, but that's like he is a part of that shit. It's not like they completely ignored it, nigga, or nothing like that.
Okay, well.
They link their origin to Jesus and the disciples.
Yeah, I don't know, Savio. I feel you, but
I get what he's saying. They rock with the saints a lot, but they still Christian. They still believe in Jesus.
I ain't never seen it.
What Catholic church you been at?
Right.
I don't even remember the name of the church. It was so long ago.
That shit was pseudo.
Right.
It could have been.
It was pseudo. So you ain't see no Jesus in there. You ain't see no crosses.
Nope.
Well, what is the cross for then in the Catholic Church?
You say it to Mary.
So what is the cross for in the Catholic Church?
I don't know. You gotta ask them.
So what is
go back?
So what is the cross signifying? Who was on that cross?
Death. The man.
What man?
The man,
what man, Sabio?
The man Jesus, but you gotta ask them why they pray to Mary.
And Jesus is who?
The Christ, supposedly.
Right, and that's if he was the Christ.
The Christ in Christianity?
Yeah, that's the Christ in Christ, but the Christ in Christianity.
Yo, but they pray to Mary. They give it up to Mary, not him. Like
they pray.
So who is
Mary? Why was I saying it to Mary? Why wasn't I saying Jesus this and all that?
Hold on, who is Mary, Sabio?
She's supposed to be his mama.
Right. You see how Jesus
all that shit still surround Jesus.
Look, I don't look. Y'all,
he had to be a bad
y'all want it, y'all got it. I gave y'all that.
All right, cool. But I'm just saying Mary had to be a bad motherfucker if she gave birth to Jesus. Like, so that's just, if Jesus could walk on water, imagine what his mama could do. You dig what I'm saying?
His mama couldn't do shit. She was a whore.
What?
They don't believe that though.
But you won't be going in that church no more.
They gonna throw that holy water on you.
Them Mexicans gonna beat the shit out you.
They gonna
Jesus' mama was a slut.
Dang.
Hey man, don't we talking about
how was she a slut when she didn't
She wasn't a virgin.
She wasn't smashing Joseph though, was she?
She wasn't a virgin. Shit, Mary had been around. She had a wife before. She had a husband before Joseph. He died. I didn't know.
Yeah, so Mary was just a streetwalker. Mary was just streetwalker.
You just made that up.
You
said she had a husband before Joseph.
Yeah, say they gonna counsel Savio. He victim blame.
They gonna cancel me.
Mary was a slut. She chose Joseph.
Sabio just said that Mary had a husband before Joseph.
And a side piece.
God was her side piece. She got pregnant by the nigga.
Hey, well, you can't get mad at that.
She got pregnant by God.
God's your side piece. Then man, you can't be mad at that, man.
God was her side piece. God impregnated her. The spirit of God impregnated Mary.
I wouldn't be tripping.
Came on her like a dove.
Just tell God to send a couple of them blessings back home with you.
I mean, that's what the story says.
And a couple miracles back home with you when he drop you
Don't
off.
the story say that?
What's the Bible?
How did we get to this?
Don't the Bible story say that she got pregnant by God?
What's
Story
the
say she
Bible?
got pregnant by God. I'll rest my case. She didn't get pregnant by her husband Joseph.
Let's go to Bible Hood.
So God out here smashing women.
God out here, he like Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, he getting it in, man.
I mean, savage and a gangster.
You know what I'm saying? Then he's getting in the world, shutting this shit down, started all over, hit the reset button.
Hey, Sheffrin.
Yeah.
Can you tell Cedric that he owed me a dragon stout? Because we made a bet over who was gonna win the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight. So I winded up with it. So he owed me a beer.
Oh yeah, you get your beer, bro. Get your beer. They tried that blackology with me too. Get your beer, man. Hey, you gotta pay up, homie.
Oh
man, they don't want Hutch. I think Hutch owed me something. He in the chat too. You talking all that big boy stuff about Wilder? You see, Chef got silent.
I'm about to say, man, niggas got quiet around here, man.
I mean, yo, that's what the Bible says. I'm just going off the Bible story. If you believe the Bible, that's how Mary got pregnant. God was smashing Mary. God whacked Mary real quick and went on back on about his business. 9 months pregnant, Jesus popped out talking about what up, world.
The counsel you already say, yeah. You victim blame. They're not trying to hear your explanation right now. Once they counsel you that shit, you better ask.
I'm not victim blaming. I'm just going off the story. Mary was a hoe.
But look, y'all, Africans did have a slavery system, and yeah, we just got to deal with it.
I ain't going back to that.
We went from Turkey.
Y'all done ran me, y'all done ran me crazy with that.
Where's Sheffrey go? Wow.
He got silent because you started talking about Deontay Wilder.
Probably lost some money. They probably hurt.
If you bet on Wilder, you was tripping.
Shit, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't do that shit. I based on what I've seen the first 2 times, no sir. Don't put no money on that nigga.
So let this be a lesson. Having dark skin do not give you superpowers.
No.
Sheffrin, where you go?
Sheffrin. Yes, that's one come here. Sheffrin. Yeah, Sheffrin.
Yeah, he went to sleep. He don't went night-night.
All right.